KZDC San Antonio.
This is Sports.
Jason Minutes, Rob Thompson, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz. You're on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. If you're on the go, slow down, find a device, go to ESPNSA.com. There you can listen to all things Blitz and see all things ESPN San Antonio. Look at your screen right now. You'll see Jason Minix on the top right-hand side. See me down at 6 o'clock. James Pledger busily pressing buttons in the glass box of fun. 3 hours coming your direction. We will have Rangers tonight. They're playing late. They're up in California, taking on the Angels as we continue our coverage of the Rangers. The best Major League Baseball team in the state of Texas. Scoreboard, baby.
The best Major League Baseball in North Texas. I'll give you that.
I'll give you that. All right, fair enough.
I'll
and
give you
the
that.
greater Metroplex.
Sure.
You know, I haven't seen SMU's team. They might actually not be, but we're just going to run with it.
I don't know how well those Longhorns get paid, but let's just say they're the best baseball team north of Waco.
I'll give them that. We'll expand
playing, do we know?
Briscoe? They got
Frisco
a team?
Rough Riders.
Oh, yeah, those guys.
Yeah, they beat the hell out of the Missions a lot, so I don't know.
The Rangers are sandbagging. They're just holding back. When we talk sports today, we will actually talk a lot of NBA. Last night, not so great. The games weren't, they were fun to watch.
Were
if you
they?
like blowouts.
I don't know.
Like
I was watching
threes.
hockey.
And actually, I think hockey won the night. And by what I'm reading and not following, sadly, is the hockey playoffs have been extraordinary. And it looks like just another night, whether they're playing crappy hockey or not.
You know, it's apparently a thing in hockey where you can say that they are playing bleepy defense. And I was watching the game last night, and the guy said that, and my wife looked over and said, "Did he just say?" I said, "I think so." I rewound it, listened to it. Yeah, he did. Rewound it again, recorded it, and put it on Twitter. And then I kept waiting for the apology, and it never happened.
It's going to get a standards and practices call. Can't say that, even if you're absolutely correct and you're...
He was right
in
on.
your description, you're dead on, I guess. If you're going to say it, you might as well be right. Now, for those of you who have been longtime Blitz listeners, you know that I tend to be a lot like Ron Burgundy and read exactly what's on our script.
Careful.
Are you looking at our rundown there, Jason? You see what's going on at 5:45? I almost got myself in trouble.
5:45. Let's see. Yeah, I actually wrote
that.
that.
That would have gotten me. But we will talk about it.
Well,
and I'll do my very
it.
best not to get the same call that a hockey announcer is going to get. But when you think WNBA, there's a lot of things to think about. You think about coaching and how you have to yell, and we know what coaches say sometimes to get their point across to referees. Well, Liz Cambadge is a Las Vegas ace, was called or described as something that she is obviously not, and took great umbrage with that to the extent that it went borderline ironic in her retort to being told she wasn't called by the coach in question fat. The coach never even looked at the player, but intimated that she weighed 300 pounds, and she got mad. We'll just leave it at that. She's 6'8", 235. Spurs should be scouting that. That's the kind of big four we need.
Now, the coach, first off, any man knows you never, ever bring up a woman's weight. You just
unless
don't
you say, "Wow, you really thinned out. You look fantastic."
Even then, man. Even then. Because if you say, "What do you weigh?" About 110, and if she's 115, you're in trouble. And if she's 115 and actually 108, well, do you think I'm too skinny? You can never get.
You're too skinny.
That's
the problem.
You can't. You just
slim down. You saying I was fat?
I'm saying that
kinda. It's you just don't go there. You don't say that. But in talking to the ref, hey man, my little player, come on, man, she's 300 pounds. What? How can you call that? It's a story that angers me. We'll talk about it at 5:45. Probably make some people mad. We do injuries. Christian Baldwin will join us for our ESPN San Antonio injury update. We will update you on Zach Plesac and his inability to remove his shirt without breaking a thumb.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Zach, please, Zach. Lots of Cowboys sound for those that are, deep into the Cowboy lore. They're practicing. OTAs are in business now. Second day of OTAs. We're going to hear from Dak Prescott today. Jaylon Smith, he of a new number. And I appreciate the way that the NFL, or maybe it's just the Dallas Cowboys, are handling this. If you want to change your number, well, you're welcome to, but we're not going to have anything in our warehouse with that old number. You're going to be responsible for it. So Jalen paid for it.
Yeah, but 6 figures worth of jerseys and T-shirts with 54 on it. And who knows if he had to pay any money to Romo or to anybody else to wear that number 9. I know if you're a player and you're switching in and a guy's got to change jerseys, a lot of times some dollars exchange for that to happen. But the NFL does require players. You want to change jerseys, you got to buy out all our stock.
Got to buy the stock. So, Jalen,
whatever's in the warehouse.
What do you do with the fit? Do you just put them on a boat and send it to an impoverished area of the world and say, congratulations, here's some more gear? Or you shred it? Do you give it to Fred? What do you do with a warehouse full of 54 jerseys?
I would hope that you would donate it to the Salvation Armies or any kind of shelters or anything like that, because it's not like they're championship shirts for the losing team that you got to hide in another country because they can't be worn here. It's not like that. They're just outdated Jalen Smith jerseys. So, I mean, they can all run around. So I hope they get donated.
So we're going to dump the outdated numbers on the homeless?
Yes.
Is that what we're going to do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's exactly what we're going to do.
I just wanted to clarify.
I mean, yeah, I think about the Cowboys' connections with the Salvation Army. I think at a lot of the shelters and a lot of the great programs that they offer there with the Salvation Army, they'd love to have some 54 Jalen Smith jerseys.
Well, okay, I can see the barrier to change. It makes sense. Hey, if you want to, you can have any number you want. We're not going to lose money on this deal. But, players are traded and released all the time. What happens to those old jerseys?
Oh, the NFL has to eat those.
So, do they eat them? Do they shred them? Do they put them on a boat to some impoverished part of the world? What exactly is going on?
They go on clearance. I mean, in Atlanta, when Julio gets traded, there's going to be a whole bunch of number 11s on clearance. I mean, that's why. I mean, when Deshaun Watson gets traded, there's going to be a whole lot of number 4s that are going to go on clearance. They'll still sell them. Okay. People are still going to buy them.
Are they?
But if you change numbers on your own, and what bothers me here is, although this is probably pretty smart for Jalen, and we'll hear from him, he wants to go back to his number 9 legacy, which is what he's worn apparently since he was 9. And, any All-Star game, Wharton College and all that, it's important to him. I was thinking, at 54, you've kind of created your own legacy with the Cowboys, but you know what? Saw how you played last year. You probably do need a different number.
Randy called him and said, not any more of that, bro. You're bringing shame upon the 54 that I brought so much glory to those years ago.
And again, I mean, you look at Randy White, maybe, he's not going to buy him, because then you could just frame him up with the 54 on the front and not have the back and autograph those. And then that way Randy White on the autograph circuit that wouldn't work either.
Randy makes the circuit, though. You can still get his autograph. He'll sign you a 54 on one of those blue jerseys that was too hot to play in.
Mm-hmm. Well, Chuck Alley has had the ones that were really too hot to play in. The other 54. Those
were made out of wool. Aaron Rodgers speaks, and the story isn't just that Aaron Rodgers spoke. Some of it's about who he spoke to. Kenny Mayne, an interview yesterday as Kenny offers his swan song. He's done today, right? Or was he done yesterday?
Well, wasn't last night the final one?
Was it last night?
It feels like they announced he wasn't coming back and was going to get released. What he called himself a salary cap casualty weeks ago. And in this business, now this is how much he is respected inside that building. In this business, you don't give a 2 weeks notice in most cases. The minute you decide you are leaving or they decide you are leaving, you don't get a chance in most cases to say goodbye. You don't get a chance to crack that mic one more time. The fact that they've let him do 6-8 shows since then tells you a lot about the, can I call it mistake that I think ESPN is
mistake.
making?
Absolutely.
I mean, they respect him that much that they're going to let him work out his contract all the way to the end. And they are allowing him to have the send-off, which I think is awesome, because in this business, you often don't get a chance to say your goodbyes. And the interviews he was able to pull last night, that was an outstanding SportsCenter. And only Kenny Mayne was going to get Aaron Rodgers on vacation in Hawaii as opposed to at the OTAs to talk about it.
You mentioned in our business. Our business is kind of like that scene in Goodfellas when Joe Pesci thinks he's about to be a made man and walks into that empty garage, and as he opens the door, he sees an empty room and realizes, oh, that's exactly what happens. You get before you even get the no out, and it's a bullet to the back of the head. That's our business. So Kenny Mayne did get that benefit, but boy, it just feels like a mistake. As the OGs, the beginners, the ones that most of us have been a part of for 25 years or so, the number of guys that have left over the last year at the mothership, there's certainly a change in the wind. I don't like it at all. It's changed, and as such, I fear it. We're also going to talk Talk Cowboys with Mickey Spagnola. He inside the Star and all DallasCowboy.com stuff. Mickey will join us at 5:15 right after they get done with practice. Dr. Christian Baldwin's here for injuries. Doug Gottlieb, our basketball expert, will join us. If you missed the news, Spurs lost again today to kind of close out the season. You know, they ended up tied with and needed a coin flip to see who was going to draft at 11 or 12. Well, Pop played the old guys again. Pop went out there and he let Patty or Rudy do the flipping and didn't let the young guys in. And, the old guys got in the way.
Fall off the table.
Yeah.
Heads I win, tails you lose.
So Patty or Rudy, I don't know which one of the old guys that we were tired of seeing, got one more chance to make it good and blew the flip.
Do you always go heads or tails, or do you just switch it up?
I'm a heads guy.
You're a heads guy.
I call heads.
I'm a tails guy.
There's lots of jokes that follow those.
Always.
on both sides, but
absolutely,
we're above that.
But it's interesting when I think about all the high school football coaches that I talk to, they all they always call it the same.
I'm going to tell you the honest to God
whether
truth.
It's heads or tails.
I have never been in a situation in my entire life to have to call a flip for like a kickoff or anything. I never had to do it.
Really?
Have you ever been at midfield and had to make? I didn't play football.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
and when I did, I certainly wasn't the caliber to be the dude calling the flip. I was the guy trying to find his helmet on the sidelines.
Well, I mean, but you go out there, but again, and Andrew Hernandez on our Facebook Live, tails never fails unless it actually does. But it's one thing when you're the football player and you go out there and you get to tell the ref what you're calling. It's whatever the coach told you. It doesn't matter what you think.
Does the coach give the flip? No, you can't do that.
Yeah, the coach. All right. Minix, you're going out there, call heads, and we want to defend this end zone. Yeah, it's not up to the captain to decide which end are they going to kick. They're just out there relaying the message from the head coach.
I would almost go opposite.
I don't think your coach trusted
I shouldn't have done it. I called heads. We're kicking off.
Your coach, I messed up.
I would have been I'd have gone with the flow. I'd have called. You know what I would do? I would look at the opposite side of what he showed. When they give you the ceremonial coin.
Here it is.
I would pick the guy riding the horse over the picture of the jet airplane.
I always go jet airplane. If you got an airplane in the mix, you got to go with the airplane over the horse. Airplane.
One of the great things that we get to do every year is go to the Army-Navy game. And Army-Navy, you get these challenge coins. Military types, you know what they are. Although I didn't know, and I was a military type. Really awesome, decorated, cool coins that commemorate certain things. And in the military, the challenge coins can be made for your particular unit. I don't know, it's the Air Force jargon, and you use them to kind of trade. Well, they use that at the coin flip. Well, it's not a coin. There's not a head or a tail. They go, well, this is going to be heads. I would forget. I'll take the battleship.
Whatever. You're not a captain.
That's exactly right. Again, once the story is out, it makes perfect sense. I would like to think some of y'all thought that. Poor Rob.
When we travel, like who's going to get the best room at the beach house in Oxnard at Cowboys training camp? We're going coin flips now. Because I know you suck at it. So we're going coin flips.
How bad can you really suck at coin flipping?
Well,
I mean,
50-50.
given enough time, you'll break even. I mean, just give me if I'm doing bad to start with, give me an hour.
Well, and again, if I don't win the first one, we're going 2 or 3, and then 3 or 5. I mean, we'll keep going until I win.
If you're not happy with that, then we go to 1 potato, 2 potato.
Rock, paper, scissors?
No, one potato, I can master that one. You have little brothers or sisters, and you've figured out where you always start for one potato, so you never lose.
No.
I will never lose at one potato if I start it. If I'm the potato guy, it's all about figuring out where you start. That way, you're
rock, paper, scissors.
No, you can lose that one. See, you have absolute control with one potato, two potato.
Well, see, that's why we're never going to go that route. We're going to flip. We're going to flip coins.
And you are not it. When we come back, let's talk NBA. It was blowouts to be had last night. Did Denver wake up? Was that bear sleeping? Or does Portland have some more in the tank? And boy, oh boy, did the Bucks look good as well. Remember that guy that played for the Spurs? Remember that guy that could shoot? When I say that, it narrows it down, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Remember that guy that could shoot? Played for us.
Bryn just hit another one.
Bryn's still open. He hit, 10 threes to start the game, and the Bucks ran away with that one. We'll look at the NBA tonight, what we saw last night as well. Aaron Rodgers sound very quickly to follow, and then Dak speaks as he is healthy once again. Boy, we're going to have some fun today. You might as well settle in. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Jason Minix here for BSG, the company that brings you the best in home security and smart home technology. The security system in my home is from BSG. The video cameras, video doorbell, the other features, fantastic and easy to use. And you can get the BSG smart home security system, including a free video doorbell for as low as $39.95 a month. And their video doorbell is incredible. Comes with video analytics, which means you control how you get notified from your doorbell. It's the most advanced video doorbell on the market that can tell the difference between a human, a vehicle, and an animal. So you're not going to get notifications from your doorbell if a car drives down the street. The picture quality and reliability of their smart video doorbell is absolutely amazing. And it also has a great touchless feature that keeps everyone clean and safe. BSG is San Antonio's home technology company, a great local company built on trust, quality, and safety. They're the best in the industry. Call 210-877-1222, 877-1222, or go to the website bsgtexas.com. That's bsgtexas.com.
The Texas Rangers play right here.
This is Joey Gallo of the Texas Rangers. Your home for the Texas Rangers baseball. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Texas Rangers baseball on ESPN San Antonio is brought to you by New Brakes Mobile Brake Repair.
What are you looking for in a air conditioner or plumbing company? What are you really looking for when you call one? Because when you do, obviously there's a problem, right? I want you to consider Service First AC and Plumbing. If you're like me, you're looking for peace of mind. You want to know the phone call that you make, that one time you get them out to your home, that they're going to give you the very best service at the very best price. We want peace of mind. We want a guy that we can trust. That's what I want. That's why I stay with Service First AC and Plumbing. I want you to do this because you do have a guy in the AC and plumbing business. It's Service First AC and Plumbing, so you might as well put it in your phone. 210-521-1500. 210-521-1500. That's Service First AC and Plumbing. Now, why would you put that in your phone? Because they'll give you the peace of mind, and I can speak to it firsthand. I had an emergency at my house just last Friday. A leak in the wall, and things were not pretty. I called Service First AC and Plumbing because, one, they're my guy in the business. I know that they're going to give me the peace of mind that the work is going to be done quickly, expediently, and as cheap as possible. They're going to give you the best work for the best price. They'll show up trained, ready to go. You're looking for reliable, proactively, and most importantly, trusted service techs. That is Service First AC and Plumbing. Somebody will always answer your call. And you know when you're calling an AC company or your plumber, it is an emergency, and they will treat it as such every time. They are you are their first priority, and they will get there as soon as possible. Put Service First AC and Plumbing in your phone. It's hot now, and it's only going to get hotter as we go through the summer and into the fall. At some point, you're going to need a plumber or an air conditioning specialist. It should be Service First AC and Plumbing. They're your guys in the AC and plumbing business. 210-1500 or 210-521-1500. I'll say it again correctly. 210-521-1500. Call Service First AC and Plumbing. When it's an emergency, you need the very best. You call them, they'll take care of you. You thank them first, and then I'm sure you'll thank me later. I'm with Jason Thompson, owner of the Thompson Law Firm. Jason, if someone's in a serious collision, what should they do?
Call me as soon as possible after the collision. If a bad driver, a drunk driver, a driver of a commercial or company vehicle crashes into you or a family member, the most important decision you will make for yourself and your family is choosing the right lawyer. You should know that the insurance companies already have their own attorneys, and you should too. If you or a family member has been seriously injured in a traffic collision, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My phone number is 900-0400, or just remember my website, alawyerforus.com. I practice law right here in San Antonio for more than 20 years, helping people and families just like yours. I believe you and your family need an attorney who is honest, loyal, experienced, professional, someone you would be proud to call your lawyer.
Your lawyer, Jason Thompson, named one of San Antonio's best personal injury attorneys and a Texas super lawyer. Call Jason Thompson, a lawyer for us. 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or go to alawyerforus.com.
You can talk keto all you want, but if you don't have a team of great tasting snacks behind you, you're not going to win the diet marathon. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds have these big, bold flavors that kick your taste buds into high gear. Korean kimchi barbecue, pasilla chili cheese, spicy dill, and more. Eat them right out of the bag or try them in your favorite recipes. You'll love this snack. Visit your local H-E-B and southernrecipesmallbatch.com to see the power of the rind.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Of course we can help you gear up for that next oil change. We've got a great deal for the job. Right now you can get 5 quarts of Castrol GTX conventional or high mileage motor oil and an STP oil filter for just $28.99. And you can get it all fast, your way. Just order online with our free same-day store pickup or next-day delivery. Getting your job done just got easier. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
It's time for some straight talk. Sure, saving money feels good, but cutting your wireless bill in half, that feels really good. Like walk-off home run in the 9th inning kind of good. Okay, maybe not that good, but pretty darn good. With Straight Talk, you can get 25 gigs of high-speed data for $45 a month, up to 50% less than the other guys. Plus, no contract. All on America's best networks. Why pay a whole lot when you could pay half? Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
Potato Man. No Potato Man. Ink-a-dink. Okay. Yeah, start with me. Yeah, good. Ink-a-dink, a bottle of ink, the cork fell out, and you stink. Not because you're dirty, not because you're clean, just because you kissed the girl behind the magazine. No. And
well, wait a minute.
You are it.
What are you doing? No. Oh, okay. All right. He's out. I get it. No. I'm it. I win.
No, he's it. He wins. It is good.
Do over. Start with him.
No.
1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4. I like that line about magazine and all that. That was the Inca-Dinka. We down here in South Texas did South 1 potato, 2 potato. We always get it right. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. Thank you so much for joining us on a sunny Tuesday afternoon. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. Walk outside and not have to see my shoes all dirty and my car needing another wash. Hopefully we'll get away from that for a bit.
You know, yesterday you talked about how it feels like Houston with the humidity. Yeah. It kind of feels like Seattle right now. Morning rain, afternoon sun. It's going to be nice to fire up the grill today. But I'm a little distracted by a Rex Chapman tweet. I don't know if you've seen this one, but it's literally 2 bees that are twisting off the top of a Fanta orange soda, and they literally get the top off. This is horrifying in many ways.
I'm watching it now, and I am indeed terrified. Yes, 2 bees were capable of taking off a screw top to a Fanta orange drink.
Mm-hmm. The fact that they are smart enough to figure out how to work together, it's great teamwork, but they can unscrew this thing and get in your sodas. It's one thing if you've got your soda out and a bee flies in there.
How many times?
But it's another if they can take off the damn lid and get in there.
I've swallowed a bee before.
Who hasn't?
I mean, we all have. This one didn't get me, but I knew it was a bee the moment it started to vibrate on the way down. It's a terrifying feeling. It could go down there and join all that gum that evidently stays down there for 7-8 years.
Gross.
Isn't that the what? Weren't you told that if you swallowed
in 7 years?
7 years? What the hell am I putting in my mouth? Anywho, last night we start the evening with Milwaukee going bananas. Bryn Forbes hitting every possible shot he can see and running away with a game that, they kind of needed to get. Looked like Miami was feeling their oats. No, that's not going to happen. You feel like that series is not on ice yet, but we're getting close. And if Denver would have gone down last night, the ramifications of a Denver loss and an early exit at this point in the progression of the Denver Nuggets would have been awful. I mean, it would have been, I don't know what they would have done with Malone as their head coach, but there would have been wholesale changes, even though Jamal Murray is gone. They managed to go 13-5 without him to close the season down. It wasn't like they've been suffering, but obviously the lack of Jamal we thought would hurt, and it did in game one against Portland. And for about a half, Portland was shooting.
I got to admit, I didn't see a lot of the Portland-Denver game because every time I flipped over, Denver was in complete control, and the hockey last night was just incredible. The basketball last night, not so much. So, but following on Twitter, especially a couple of guys that I know that do sports radio there in Portland, just bitching about the officiating. And at one point when I was watching, I think Portland was shooting like 46% and getting blown out. I'm looking at the final box. They shot 47.9%, 48.5 from three. Did okay at the free throw line, and they still lost 128-109 because Denver shot 53.5%. The MVP was 15 of 20 last night, and Denver had to get that game. I mean, Portland, you got home court. You got game one. You got the split on the road. You're in fine shape as this series moves forward. We talked about the Knicks and the Hawks kind of being a series that we slept on going in. I think when we finish the first round, the Denver-Portland series might be the one in the West that goes 7.
You think so?
I do. I mean, because Portland played Portland ball last night. Dame was incredible. Doesn't play defense. They shot the ball well, but they can't stop anybody. I do think, though, getting the split for Portland is huge with them going to the Rose Garden. I'm not sure what the policy is in Portland about fans, but even with what they have, say, 8,000 or so last night in Denver, it sounds so loud in there. And these players haven't been playing in front of fans for a long time. You can tell even these smaller crowds are having an impact.
Yeah, they are. Legit. And it's funny how you can really feel it through the television. But I got to disagree with you as far as Denver and Portland's series. Last night in the first half, Dame was Dame. 32, what he set a record, an NBA record, 32 points, or at least he tied or passed one that Vince Carter had held for a while. 32 points and a half. I mean, he was on fire. They come out in the second half, and Malone has put on Aaron Gordon suddenly was on Dame, and game over, man. That was it for Dame. Took him completely out of the game. Now, Stotts is a hell of a coach, and I'm sure Dame is an expert at finding the niches and the openings to go be Dame. But it appeared to me that Denver cracked the code last night. That first game, they're a little confused. First half, it still wasn't working. And then Aaron Gordon showed up, and that was it. That and Nikola Jokic just flat out humiliating Nurkic. Well, let me tell you, man, Jokic put him in the spin cycle all night long. Nurkic fouled out with like 7 minutes to go, man, and was angry when he left. Those two guys, Nurkic was drafted like in 14, I think, by Denver, and then Jokic the next year or something like that. Jokic came, took his job, got him traded to Portland, and then embarrassed him on national TV last night. Jokic, there is no question, is the most valuable player. I know Chris Paul was fantastic, and it's always and when you talk MVP, it should be the MVP of somebody other named LeBron in any other year, but this one. Jokic decided, they took away my assisting in game one. You're not going to do that again. And Nurkic, it's time for you to foul out. And that's basically wore him out for 3 quarters until it was done. I think Denver was the sleeping bear. They got poked. Now, certainly Dame has every bit of offense to go get it. And that guard combo with McCallum, certainly they got a puncher's chance. But Stotts is going to have to coach his ass off now. Going back to Denver or going back to Portland.
You look at Dame with 32 in the first half, and he finishes with 42. 0 of 4 in the fourth quarter. His only fourth quarter points were at the free throw line. And yeah, Denver made their adjustments, but that was one that they had to have. They weren't going to lose 2 at Denver and make this a series. So I can't say that I was surprised by the end result. I was surprised to look at Portland shoot 48% and lose.
Oh, it wasn't about defense.
I mean, but again, though, I mean, you shoot 48% and from threes, you had 16 threes, and you get blown out. They can work on the defensive side, and I thought Denver shot it extremely well. And again, with what little I watched of that, because the hockey last night was just incredible.
And who won?
Well, Florida ended up beating Tampa Bay. That was a really good game until
Florida
late in the
beat
third.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Florida beat Tampa Bay. Then you had the Isles and Pens went into overtime, into double overtime last night. And in the Las Vegas game, you just saw some really bad, poopy defense, according to the announcer dude.
And that was the Wild?
Vegas and Minnesota,
yeah. That was playing crappy defense.
Yeah, they were getting outshot 22-1. I mean, it was,
We get tonight. These are. I'm trying to figure out what game I feel like I have to absolutely watch tonight. If I had to just choose one, it's the Lakers in Phoenix, right? I mean, that's where all eyes are going to land just because of the star power. And what I do believe, if it's a must win tonight, if they don't get one tonight, I think the Lakers are cooked.
I'm not. No, I mean, they're in trouble, but I don't think they're cooked, because if LeBron and Anthony Davis, if they can get healthy and get some rest, they're going to be fine. Mavs Clips might be the most entertaining game tonight, but Brooklyn, now that they're all healthy, don't you just want to watch them to see what they actually look like? Because we've heard about them all year, but we haven't seen enough games with all of their stars together. And what is Boston going to do? Can they get off the mat, or is Boston going to end up getting swept? There's some intriguing storylines with all 3 games tonight.
I think Boston's cooked. I think Brooklyn's about to run them out of the gym. The Dallas series is interesting because of its kind of dull. Is there anything there that interests you in the series? Is it the redemption? Is it playoff George? Is it Kawhi finding a way? Is it Ty Lue, turning a Clipper team, taking them where they couldn't get with Doc? Is it Porzingis with Dallas? I mean, there's just not a lot of draw there for me.
Boban. Yeah,
respect.
You're right. There's
you
not
know
a
what
lot
I mean?
there.
It's good basketball, but I go, if I had to choose between that game and the NHL, I'd probably watch a little bit of hockey.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
I'll let you know what games to tune into tonight when the basketball gets a little slow.
I think so, because I get the feeling whoever wins the Dallas LA series is out next round anyway. It's just my firm belief.
Yeah,
but probably not. But probably not. Hey, coming back, we're already up against it, so we need to speed through the next 30 minutes. Aaron Rodgers spoke today. We get to hear from Aaron Rodgers really spoke last night to Kenny Mayne on his last gig. And Kenny actually cussed at him. Wait till you hear from Aaron. It's actually really funny. And some thoughts from Aaron, and he disproved he did disprove a theory as to why he's angry. Aaron Rodgers speaks next here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Memorial Day weekend is this weekend. You're going to fire up the grill. You want the best sausage on that grill, then Kielbasa smoked sausage is what you need to go get. The kind of sausage you could find in butcher shops back in the old days. You see at Kielbasa, they make their legendary smoked sausage in small 150-pound batches with only fresh, high-quality ingredients, never frozen meat. They don't add fillers or chemicals that you can't pronounce, and then it is smoked over real hardwood, just the way Rufus Kielbasa did back in 1949 when the company was started here in San Antonio. And everything they make is made right here in San Antonio, including their new smoked chicken sausage. Yep, they've got a Kielbasa hatch chili and cheddar smoked chicken sausage and a roasted garlic smoked chicken sausage, available for a limited time only at their company store down on South Brazos Street, or you can order it online at kielbasa.com. They are both fantastic. I really love that hatch chili and cheddar smoked chicken sausage. It is fantastic. And when you buy Kielbasa brand sausage, you are getting the best, most authentic smoked sausage you'll ever eat. Michael Kiabasa guarantees if it's not the best, call him. He'll give you your money back. He puts his number on the back of every package sold. You know you're going to fire up the grill. Make sure you get some Kiabasa sausage today.
Sundays are for the grill. The Sunday Sports Grill, 11 in the morning to 1. Chop it up and grill with former and current Rock the Mic champs Michael Jimenez and Quinn Hudson. The Sunday Sports Grill, 11 to 1 every Sunday.
This SportsCenter update is brought to you by Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Hurt in an accident and dealing with hospital bills? Thomas J. Henry will help you with medical bills while we work on your case. Start your claim today at tjhlaw.com/radio. That's tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
I'm CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger with a quick tip from H2O Wireless on stretching your budget and saving money every month. Start with your recurring monthly bills, and here's the easiest one, your cell phone bill. Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile charge premium rates for unlimited data, when in all actuality, you have no need for that much data. H2O Wireless, on the other hand, is on the exact same network as one of those carriers, but charges you half. The average family of 4 is saving over $70 a month without having to sacrifice coverage. And listen to this, unlimited talk, text, and 15 gigs of data for just $36 per month. Switching is as easy as swapping out your SIM card. You can keep your phone and your phone number. Here's how to get the best deal. This month, dial pound 250 and say keyword get H2O. You'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Dial pound 250 and say get H2O for this exclusive offer and start saving today.
Tune in to the Blitz today for the ESPN San Antonio Injury Update, powered by the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Catch up on the latest injuries and how it'll affect your team. The Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Online at tsaog.com.
It's time for some straight talk. You've got real work to do, but everyone's sucking up the free Wi-Fi faster than a Mocha Choco double frap on ice. So be your own hotspot. Now with Straight Talk Wireless, get 10 gigs of hotspot data with the ultimate unlimited plan. Just $55 a month on America's largest and most dependable networks. You don't have to find a hotspot. You are the hotspot. Straight Talk Wireless.
No contract, no compromise. Compatible device required. See straighttalk.com.
Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar, your home to 7 days a week happy hour. Come eat, drink, and socialize safely at all 4 Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar locations. And now you can join us bright and early at the newest location, Slackers Medical Center, now opens at 7 a.m. to serve our valued medical community. Nurses, doctors, frontline workers, and staff, we thank you. Slackers Medical Center at Fredericksburg and Medical Drive. Visit slackersbarssa.com for more info. Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar, now with 4 area locations to quench your thirst.
Summer means longer days and sometimes longer weekends. Make the most of yours with Memorial Day savings now at the Home Depot. In-store, online, store-wide. Get grilling and saving with a 5-burner Next Grill for only $199. Regularly $249. Save on everything from mulch to mowers. Ready, set, summer. Memorial Day savings. Here now, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done while supplies last.
O'Reilly. Ready for an oil change? Our professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts recommend all the best products to get the job done right. Like 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil on sale now, just $28.95. And we'll make sure you have all the supplies you need, including a filter, funnel, shop towels, drain pan, and more. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, just last thing. Last time we did the interview together, you told me to go heavy in the cryptocurrency game. I did. We're down 40%. Then I lost my job. Gretchen just wants a new comforter. Cue Aaron Rodgers.
He is Kenny Mayne, no longer an ESPN desk type. It's free agent. Talking with Aaron Rodgers. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. You can watch us live on any device if you go to ESPNSA.com. So Aaron Rodgers finally speaks, and he's been cryptic. He's talked with Pat McAfee a couple of times, but really Kenny Mayne scored big on his last night as he pulled Aaron Rodgers off the beach, evidently in Miami. Now, Hawaii. Hawaii. What he had to say, though, kind of dispelled the rumor about Jordan Love.
It is interesting, and maybe the more honest answer we've heard from Aaron through all of this, because you kind of get the feeling he knew that the Packers had decided long ago and told him they were going to go in a different direction. All he did was go out and win an MVP award and take that team to the NFC Championship game. And keep in mind that, he's got $0 guaranteed dollars left on his big contract. So this really does seem a little bit more like, hey, what would make me happy? A new contract. But Kenny Mayne did ask him, while it was all about Kenny Mayne, he did ask some tough questions, and we got some answers we've been waiting to hear.
Do you find it strange that people have been sort of conditioned?
Hang on.
Is he in a cave?
He's
that was Aaron Rodgers in a Hawaii cave.
Take two.
The people have been sort of conditioned to believe management is always right. Like the player's a bad guy because he stands up for himself. Management must be right because the loyalty to the team is paramount. And then someone like you, others, Richard Sherman, have kind of voiced that opinion like, hey, I'm a worker. I work for myself and my family, so I'm going to stick up for myself in whatever situation it is. God, that was a serious question.
That was a good question. I think sometimes people forget what really makes an organization, and history is important. Legacy of so many people who've come before you, but the people—that's the most important thing. The people make an organization. People make a business, and sometimes that gets forgotten. Culture is built brick by brick, the foundation of it by the people. Not by the organization, not by the building, not by the corporation. It's built by the people. And I've been fortunate enough to play with a number of amazing, amazing people, and got to work for some amazing people as well. And it's those people that build the foundation of those entities. And I think sometimes we forget that,
Are you demanding a trade?
With my situation, look, it's never been about, never been about the draft picking Jordan. I love Jordan. He's a great kid. He had a lot of fun to work together.
You can shine my
love
shoes.
Coaching staff, love my teammates. Love the fan base in Green Bay. It's incredible 16 years. It's just kind of about a philosophy, and maybe forgetting that it is about the people that make the thing go. It's about character. It's about culture. It's about doing things the right way. And a lot of this was put in motion last year, and the wrench was just kind of thrown into it when I won MVP and played the way I played last year. So this is just kind of, I think, the spill out of all that. But look, man, it is about the people, and that's the most important thing. Green Bay has always been about the people, from Curly Lambeau, being owner and founder, to the 60s with Lombardi and Bart Starr and all those incredible names, to the 90s teams with Coach Holmgren and Farvey and the Minister of Defense, to the run that we've been on. It's about the people.
And he really did put a nice word in there for Mike McCarthy. No, actually that didn't happen. But you hear that. And do you get the feeling that they told him when the new GM took over and when they hired the new coach to replace Mike McCarthy, they said, don't be the reason this doesn't work, that they had made their decision that they were going to move on from him. And all he did was use another chip on his shoulder to go out and have the season that he had. And now he's got the half a peace sign salute to them. Like, not only would a new contract be nice, but also a new general manager. Or is he mad at the CEO? I'm not really sure who, but the CEO can fire the GM.
I think he's mad at Favre. I think if we go back and really dive into this is all about Favre and him having to watch him play for a couple. He hates Brian Gutekunst. That's who he hates. He hates Brian. And the only way that you're going to keep him as he can continue to be that foundation of greatness, the people, not the building, is to pay me more. We should have all known that he was not threatened by Jordan Love. It was just the idea, like, you know what? Seriously, you're going to go draft a quarterback? I got more years left in me. If they didn't draft last year and drafted a quarterback this year, I think it would have been chill. It would have been fine. And Aaron took it the wrong way, but he doesn't sound like he is gone. You know what I mean? He reinforced the fact that he loved just about everything around the team except the plan and the guy that implemented the plan.
Well, but he still wants out of there because he doesn't like the culture there. What he did was, hey man, Green Bay fans, I will always love you. Don't hate me. My teammates, I love you. Don't hate me.
But he didn't say that. He didn't go, I'm out of here like Julio did.
No, because he knew he was on live television, and he is smarter than that. And
why would that be unsmart, Jason? Why would you not say, I'm out of here? No matter what they say or do, I am not coming back. He didn't say that. It was a love fest, except for Gutekunst and maybe to some extent Matt LaFleur. Those are the only changes.
If you're Gutekunst, do you call him up and just say, I'm sorry, whether you mean it or not?
Yes.
Do you call him up and say, I'm sorry? Do you call a press conference and say, you know what, I handled this poorly? Have you ever apologized to somebody even though you didn't really mean it, but you knew you had to?
Yeah.
I mean,
to that 6'8", 300-pound basketball player, I just wanted to apologize.
Do it now. I mean, it's for that 5:45 segment that's coming up. We apologize in advance. But again, I mean, it's and you wonder if an apology would an apology and a new contract would that be it? I don't get the feeling that Green Bay is going to change their general manager to make Aaron Rodgers happy. Could you imagine if they were to do that? There are certain players in basketball that can get a coach fired, certain players in football that can get a coach fired. I don't know that I've ever heard of a GM getting fired because a player has demanded, dude, if you want me to play, he's got to go.
Well, if anybody could have ever done it, it's Aaron Rodgers, because there's not an owner. There's a CEO and a board of directors and all that.
But this has been going on long enough.
I know.
If the CEO wanted to fire the GM,
you got
because
McCarthy gone.
Yeah, but I mean, there was you run its course.
Well, I think that's the problem, because Green Bay, they did turn the page. I don't think there's any question that Gutekunst and LaFleur looked at what Aaron Rodgers had did previous to last year and thought, the sand's about to leave the hourglass. We're just about to the bottom there. So let's go ahead. He ain't gone yet.
They were in the NFC Championship game.
But I'm not talking about the team. I'm talking about the skill set that Aaron Rodgers offered and the amount of money that they were paying him. Yeah, Green Bay's been consistently fine. For him to say, you've never done anything for me, well, that's out and out lie. You were an MVP for a reason. You had guys to throw to, and because you're so good, we didn't focus on some of those things, but we focused on other things that help you get to the NFC Championship game. So you can't come back with that. But he is coming back with, I got paid early. Everybody else got paid late. I'm now an MVP. I don't even really like this Gutekunst guy. My value is never going to be higher than it is right now. It won't be higher next year. It's now. So if I'm going to make any more money, it's now. That's all this is. And if the Green Bay backs up the Brinks truck and Gutekunst shows up with a lovely gift basket, heartfelt apology, maybe a little gift of some sort, maybe it'll all work out. But I do think that Aaron left the door open. He didn't say, I'm out no matter what.
True.
It's the foundation. I mean, he could have. I mean, this was your chance.
But he's leaving the door open. I mean, when you talk about the history and the legacy, I do think a player like Aaron Rodgers looks at playing for one franchise for an entire career, and that is important. Mm-hmm. And he's hurt that
they wanted to get rid of him, that they saw it into his career. Yeah, I don't blame him one bit.
And clearly told him when he said the wheels got put in motion last year and I threw a monkey wrench in it, by the way, I played and won MVP, tells me that they told him. Like he knew what was going up. I mean, to bring things full circle, it was, like Kenny Mayne, hey, man, we're not renewing your contract, but we'll let you finish it out and, have one hell of a last great show. And then people are wondering, why are they letting this guy go? He landed Aaron Rodgers on vacation after dinner. We know he likes his whiskey. How many whiskeys do you think Aaron Rodgers had at dinner before jumping on that interview?
Well, there's a lot of things in Hawaii.
I mean, he combed his hair, got all prettied up for that. I mean, we've seen him on Jeopardy. We know he knows how to dress for TV. Last night, it's like the phone rang and he was like, oh, yeah, I promised Kenny I was going to do this, but I'm on vacation. What the hell? Let's go.
Aaron Rodgers in a suit looks like the guy that has one suit that wears that one suit to the funeral, to the PO office, to the job. Slicked over his hair.
That's me. What are you talking about?
But his hair was all slicked over.
like his mom combed it over.
Yeah, a little bit of Brill cream in there like Dad used to do. And he got all cleaned up, smelled like Old Spice, and went out there and got interviewed. He did. He looked like he was wearing somebody else's clothes. Coming back, Brooks Koepka is indeed a douchebag. We have more proof. We'll talk about it next. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. And maybe it's not you that gets arrested, but you get a phone call from a family member, a friend that they got arrested. You want to get out of jail fast because, of course, you do. Best way to do that, call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds. The phone number is 210-225-2121, or you can text bail to 474747, or even start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option, AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available, a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7. They have offices all over San Antonio and Texas. They'll get you out fast, whether you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, in the Valley, anywhere in between. License number 149, AA Best Bail Bonds. Text the word bail to 474747. Call 210-225-2121 or go to the website, mybestbailbonds.com.
Score Dad $1,000 for Father's Day.
Enter to win now at ESPNSA.com.
1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM.
And on the go at ESPNSA.com.
I want to talk to you about your weight. Rob Thompson here for the Institute for Functional Health. You know, you carry a bunch of weight for a long time, you get kind of used to it. But when you start losing that weight, the energy that returns is absolutely remarkable. Not one person you will ever meet will tell you that losing weight made them less energetic, made them a little bit more lethargic. No, that lethargy leaves when the pounds fall off. When you go to the Institute for Functional Health, you'll find that it's a kind of a snowball effect. You learn how to eat, what to eat. Dr. Torres puts together a program specifically for you, and the weight starts falling off. But what happens is as the weight starts to fall, suddenly your energy level goes up, and you're able to go work out and do so many things that you didn't do because, one, you were carrying so much weight, your knees and your ankles and your hips and your back hurt like me. And two, you just couldn't maintain the energy because you were overweight. You go meet with Dr. Torres, and the first thing that you will learn is what is most important to your body to be successful, to be healthy. You learn what to eat, and then you learn how to eat that and when to eat that. And before you know it, you're not on a diet. You're on a program that makes you not only lose weight, but get you healthier. I'm talking about people on diabetes, getting off medication, those that are hypertensive, getting off those. Now, every situation is different for sure, but I can tell you this, you will be better off with less weight. Go see Dr. Torres, meet with him, find out what I know. We all endeavor to lose weight. Very few of us have the gumption and the wherewithal just to go get it done. And if you're that person, I want you to call Dr. Torres because he will be your cheerleader, he will be your mentor, he will be your coach, and he will chastise you a bit if you don't live up to your end of the deal. He is in this for you. I want you to call Dr. Torres and find out what I know. Here's the number, 210-468-1891. 210-468-1891. I'm down nearly 40 pounds now, a year and a half later. My life is forever changed, and I'm healthier for it. If you're sick and tired about being sick and tired, I want you to call Dr. Torres. I want you to go check out the website at iffhealth.com. Take the functional health test. It'll open your eyes. Call the Institute for Functional Health. Get on a program that will literally change your life. That beach body, it ain't that far away. Go get it now. Call the IFF, 210-468-1891. Start losing weight. I'm sure you'll thank Dr. Torres, but then you're going to thank me later.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Jason Minix here for Alamo Water Softeners. Don't wait until you think you have a problem with your water before calling Alamo Water Softeners. Have Alamo Water Softeners come to your house and give you a free water analysis and free estimate. In the month of May, you can get a free reverse osmosis system with the purchase of select new water softeners while supplies last. Discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference. Go to alamowatersofteners.com. That's alamowatersofteners.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
It's time for some straight talk. Sure, saving money feels good, but cutting your wireless bill in half, that feels really good. Like walk-off home run in the 9th inning kind of good. Okay, maybe not that good, but pretty darn good. With Straight Talk, you can get 25 gigs of high-speed data for $45 a month, up to 50% less than the other guys. Plus, no contract. All on America's best networks. Why pay a whole lot when you can pay half? Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. Goodyear knows the importance of keeping momentum as you head down the stretch. Momentum starts with movement. It's pulled from the air like a contested rebound. Momentum builds with steals and fast breaks, and is proven by deep threes as the shot clock expires. Momentum is how we change the game, and now it's time to discover where it can take us. Goodyear, more driven.
It is the Blitz. You are on ESPN San Antonio. The Blitz is brought to you by the Thompson Law Firm. Jason Thompson, an experienced personal injury attorney. Jason Thompson is available 24 hours a day and one phone call away. The number is 210-900-0400. The website is alawyerforus.com. We're up against it. We'll get into the Brooks and Bryson spat. It's kind of a little slap fight going on over there. The rivalry is growing. It's not quite Ali Frazier, but we're getting there. Maybe we'll get a tickle fight come out of this in a little while. This pettiness does not even begin to describe all this. And we come back, we're going to hear from Dak Prescott, number 4. We're going to hear from number 9, and we might even talk about number 6. You're going to have to figure out who exactly those second numbers are. Hey, we're almost to Father's Day, folks. Daddies need a little bit of love, and don't just go buy a tie. How about $1,000? Think about all the ties you could get with that. Go to ESPNSA.com, get yourself signed up, and your papa, your daddy, whoever you feel is that, could win themselves $1,000 at ESPNSA.com. Coming back, Dak Prescott. We got Mickey on the way. Yeah, he of the star. And Doug Gottlieb. Lots of talking. You need to do the listening. Hang on. We'll be right back. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
For 37 years, Mother's Window Tint has been the Texas All-Star for window tint, car stereos, and auto security. Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters, is saving you money right now. Stop more heat for less dollars with tint as dark as you want. We carry over 60 different professional films. Car thieves are stealing catalytic converters more than ever, so get a car alarm from Mother's that will even start your car by remote control. Save $100. Streaming music and your favorite podcast is easier and cheaper than ever with a new Alpine car stereo or Kicker speakers or a JBC amplifier. At Mother's Window Tint super discount stores in Austin and San Antonio, they're all on sale. No time limit layaway. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. MothersWindowTint.com. Follow us on Facebook. Mother's Window Tint. Remember, do it at Mother's and save.
Turn off your laptop. We're on vacation.
It's a staycation. You haven't left the backyard.
But we said no work.
I'm on TotalWine.com. They have so many rosés and pinots. Oh, let's make this a tropical vacation. Do you want tequila or rum?
Well, both. Oh, get a Prosecco. And I'd love more of those craft wheat beers.
It's a good thing Total Wine has low prices.
Wondrous selection, helpful guides, ridiculously low prices. Total Wine and more. Discover new flavors to make this summer even more fun at TotalWine.com.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs.
On winning teams, every player brings their unique strength and has an impact on the results. For the Showtime Los Angeles Lakers of the 80s, one of those players was Michael Cooper. He was one of only 3 players to play on all 5 of their championships. Alongside Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Cooper was the Defensive Player of the Year in 1987 and made the All-Defensive Team for 8 straight years. A vital role for the Showtime Lakers.
Build your winning team today. Go to linkedin.com/sports.
Just like in basketball, adding talent to your team right now gets you even, but adding the right talent right now, that gets you an edge. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the best candidates with the experience, skills, and motivation you need. Post a job in minutes with your must-have criteria, and LinkedIn Jobs will match you to the most qualified people across their network of 740 million professionals. You could have your star players in place this summer. Post your first job for free at linkedin.com/sports. That's linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
From the Mother's Window Tint Studios. Online at motherswindowtint.com. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM KCDC San Antonio. Jason Minix, Rob Thompson, the Blitz.
It is the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. If you're on the go, good for you. Go to ESPNSA.com. Head on home. Martinez down the hall. If you wait longer, it's going to fill up your inbox. Just go ahead and get out. Go head out the back door. The sun is out. No one will blame you. He'll be back tomorrow. It ain't going to go anywhere. Get out of work. Don't mind them brake lights. We'll get you everywhere you need to go, at least until 7 o'clock. And then I got to go. But until then, we're going to have some fun. The Cowboys are in this is day 2 of OTAs, right, Jace?
Sure. I mean, I think it actually started over the weekend, and the rookie mini camp rolls in. The crazy thing with the Dallas Cowboys, unlike a lot of the other teams, is so many guys live in Dallas and work out at the Star on the daily that this is nothing new, except for at 2 o'clock, they all are out at the practice field, and then there's meetings that they have to actually go to. But it kind of feels like they've all been either at Dak's house, because he's got his own football field.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Or they're at the Star. It is kind of bizarre. So it's day whatever, but it's day 1 in which Dak Prescott speaks to the media. We know he's been going through stuff. We've heard that Dak looks good. We've seen video of him. He's doing everything, and he's wearing a red jersey. And
I don't like it.
It's just weird.
Yeah, it doesn't look right.
For the Dallas Cowboys, I remember asking Jason Garrett one time why the Cowboy quarterbacks don't wear red jerseys. And I remember Garrett just looked at me and said, well, it's not what we do here. They've never done it. I think that kind of goes back to Tom Landry. But at the time, I believe Tony Romo was still the quarterback. And Garrett looked me dead in the eye and said, I think everybody on our team knows you don't touch number 9. And he doesn't have to wear a red jersey for you to know that. I remember hearing a story from Dat Wynn, who also wanted to wear number 9, but couldn't, so he went with 59, although started at 45. So, I mean, the changing numbers is pretty common.
Jerseys.
I remember Dat Wynn telling the story, because we were talking about the red jerseys then, is he said when, he was first with the Cowboys, Bill Parcells had a rule that you couldn't get within 4 feet of Troy Aikman. If you're within 4 feet, counted as a sack. Because the fear was throwing motion comes forward and he hits a hand on a helmet. And you didn't want to be the guy that broke a knuckle or a finger of Troy Aikman. But yet,
Aikman was socially distant.
Comes in. Yeah, Mike McCarthy comes in and Dak's got a red jersey. But, and they've got to protect him. The good news, according to Dak, he could play a full game right now. He said while they are limiting him and keeping him out of team drills, he's not really limited at all.
No, I wouldn't say I'm necessarily limited. I think we're just being cautious and being smart in the fact of not doing things when there's a pass rush or guys, potentially falling at the legs or something of that nature. But as far as saying I can't do drills or I can't do something, I'm pretty much full go.
He is full go. And there's some photos and some videos from practice today where he is running around on that broken ankle that's not broken anymore, planting, looks strong, looks healthy. My doctor, visual MD from the couch, He looks good. He looks fantastic. I mean, he looks as healthy as he could be.
Those thighs could crack some walnuts, man. He has spent seriously. He never skipped leg day, even though he was only probably working out one of them from October till now. But he looks really thick. I mean,
he does.
He looks ready to go. I do find it interesting that as he has rehabbed, the warm up is getting a little bit longer for him to get ready to go practice. And I hate to break it to him, it's not the leg, man. It's the age. That's just going to happen to you, man. It's going to take you a little bit longer to get going with every passing year. But it is good to see him out there playing. I think I appreciate the optimistic view, but dude, it hadn't been a year yet, no matter how bionic you might be. And we're going to talk injuries today with Dr. Christian Baldwin over from TSAOG. But no matter how good you are with your orthopod and how much he's mostly well. And I think that's all we got to hope for. And the biggest picture here, isn't it nice, as we're talking about Aaron Rodgers, and surely Deshaun will come up at some point, that what's the biggest drama at Cowboys training camp or OTAs right now? There's really not.
There isn't any. I mean, everybody's there. You know, they're not the PA stuff about people showing up.
Yeah.
They don't have those issues there.
Weird.
Zeke was in the building today, although he didn't practice. Dak seems to be ahead of schedule. And while I'm excited to see Dak, and this probably shouldn't excite me as much as it did, but seeing the video that the Dallas Cowboys put out of Zach Martin, Tyron Smith, and Leal Collins all going out to practice today, seeing that big group of guys together, that excited me.
Put them in red jerseys.
Again, they don't make them that big. But they all looked good in the sense of, just health. I mean, we've been around Tyron Smith. I mean, that guy, for as big as he is, he and he looks it, but it's all muscle. Collins, he looks like he's in good shape. In fact, Dak even talked about the shape that those offensive linemen are in. And keep in mind, they have spent more time together in that training room over the last year. Dak's been pushing them. But for him to say for Tyron and Leal, the best shape in their careers, that says a lot.
It's just a great feeling. I mean, I've been rehabbing with those guys all off season long, just so to know the hard work that they've put in to get to where they are, to feel confident about their health, and just to know that they're in some of the best shape that they've ever been in their career, both of them. I'm excited just to get back out there and, as we said, take the huddle again and play with those guys.
And again, seeing the video of those guys, because it really does start with them. I mean, it doesn't matter how healthy Dak is or Zeke and what kind of shape he's in, all the receivers you have. If that offensive line isn't healthy, if Tyron Smith can't give me 17 games, what do you have? I mean, Dan Orlovsky.
You have Andy Dalton is what you have.
Dan Orlovsky said today, he thinks the Cowboys are the third best team in the NFC East. Whatever, Dan. But again, if that offensive line isn't healthy, Dan's probably right.
So Dak could play within a month. He's optimistic for sure. So at least that's all we're talking about. Who is the one Cowboy that has the most to prove this year, that it really is a make or break?
I think it's a guy that has a brand new number,
mm-hmm.
and that is Jalen Smith, who today officially apparently went down to the NFL Team Shop warehouse and bought every 54 that he could find, jerseys and T-shirts, because that's the rule. He's officially wearing number 9. And it's interesting because he talks about the legacy. And I always think it's kind of weird, especially with a young player, when you talk about your legacy. Well, good for you, man, because I need to forget about that 54, Jalen Smith.
First and foremost, just a blessing and an honor to be able to carry on the 9 legacy. Tony Romo did an amazing job of just being elite and
I hope you have as many
great
interceptions
success for the Cowboys franchise. As you know, new players coming in, always getting the opportunity, to sometimes carry on legacies. And that's the opportunity that the Jones family granted me with wearing number 9. So it's definitely a blessing. It's been a part of my life. Been wearing number 9 since I was 9 years old, through Pee Wee, middle school, high school, college.
Did you wear 8 before?
All-American games, you name it.
He didn't have one.
And number 9 is a part of me. So it's really just a blessing to be able to continue the legacy.
And I know a lot of guys want, like that for religious reasons, wanted 9 in his business. If you couldn't have 9, started at 45, ended up with 59, had to have a 9. So good for him, because of players that have something to prove, it's him. Jalen Smith, with all the Cowboys, you think about last year coming into this year, especially the defense, as bad as it was. And, of course, new defensive coordinator Dan Quinn, who I thought it was interesting what Jalen had to say about Dan Quinn.
A guy that we all are excited to play for, and we're locked in. Everyone here is bought in. And that's the biggest thing. That's the beautiful thing about Dan Quinn and his energy. It's infectious, and just thankful to have him. So we're sponges, soaking everything in, learning from him.
I hope so. Infectious, energy, bought in. Those are words we did not hear last year with Nolan.
And Nolan had 1,000 problems. Some of them were thrown on him, like the fact that they couldn't do what they're doing this year last year. Couldn't do it.
True.
So, I will give him a little bit of slack, but Nolan was a horrific and terrible mistake, worthy of almost getting his head coach fired. It was such a poor decision. To hear the excitement about a defensive coordinator, I appreciate that, but I think that Nolan was a bit hamstrung. The one thing about him changing his number back to 9, and I understand the legacy. The last time you wore 9, Jalen, weren't you on a cart with your leg facing the wrong direction? I mean, there is a little bit of negative connotation. The last time you wore number 9 almost ended your football career.
You would be the one to go there, huh?
Well, I'm just bringing it up. I understand you want your number. I do. And 9's a fine number. For a linebacker, he'll stick out. I know R.J. Ochoa is throwing up in his mouth right now to know that that's happening. And I understand getting it. But, dude, the last time you had it on, that legacy was of you going to have to suffer through the drop foots for a couple of years.
Well, and again, 9 set a new legacy with the Cowboys. Let's go. Like Micah Parsons going with number 11. Donovan Wilson changes from 37 to go back to number 6, the number he wore in college. So right now on the roster, because nobody will get number 8, Ben DiNucci has number 7. We don't expect to be there. So when they line up, you're going to see 2 new numbers right there. The new numbers today, 6 and 9 for the Dallas Cowboys.
If you're playing at home, choose those for your numbers. Your illegal lottery numbers. Coming up, we're talking injuries with Dr. Christian Baldwin. He'll be here at 6 o'clock. Doug Gottlieb of a variety of gigs, one being Premier's national syndicated talk radio host. He's a basketball dude, man. He knows his hoops. We're going to look at the Spurs have the number 12 draft pick. We know that for sure. They lost their pick, and Doug's going to join us at 6:15 getting ready for it. But, the idea of the Cowboys practicing is, it is indeed Saturday. Let's talk with an expert. Saturday. It is indeed OTA season. I don't know where that came from. Mickey Spagnola is going to join us next, fresh from the Stars field. And I'll see y'all next week, because evidently it's Saturday. Mickey will be here just a couple of minutes. Hang around with us. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
If it was a Saturday and you needed your brakes done, New Brakes would come take care of your brakes. They have Saturday and Sunday appointments. And again, that's what they do. New Brakes is a mobile brake shop. They will come to you to fix your brakes, your home, your office, wherever you are. Weekends, during the week, doesn't matter. If your brakes are bad or you think they're going bad, go to nubrakes.com and schedule your repair. New Brakes provides convenient and affordable brake repairs, and they only fix brakes. You won't get the upsells like at a traditional repair shop. They only use premium brake parts, and they back all repairs with a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty. Save 10% when you mention my name, Jason Minix, or ESPN San Antonio at nubrakes.com. Whether you're busy at work, relaxing at the house, you do what you do, well, they fix your brakes, and they're great at what they do. Go read all the 5-star reviews and schedule your repair now at nubrakes.com for New Brakes, nubrakes.com.
The first thing on our bucket list? Fill the bucket with ice-cold beer.
Woohoo!
San Antonio's sports leader. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. All day, every day.
You know, injuries do happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need to know about Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries, and he has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. No reason for you to be in pain. If you're hurting, call Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. 210-804-5490 is the number to call to schedule an appointment. 210-804-5490 or learn more at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
Jason Minix here for Alamo Water Softeners. Don't wait until you think you have a problem with your water before calling Alamo Water Softeners. Have Alamo Water Softeners come to your house and give you a free water analysis and free estimate. In the month of May, you can get a free reverse osmosis system with the purchase of select new water softeners while supplies last. Discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference. Go to AlamoWaterSofteners.com. That's AlamoWaterSofteners.com.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm with my brother, Jason, my lawyer. He's with the Thompson Law Firm. Now, Jason, I got a question for you. I see lawyer advertisements, billboards, TV. How do I choose a lawyer?
I see the exact same advertisements, and it would be tough, I think, if you don't have a relationship with an attorney deciding who to pick. I think the things that you need to think about are whether or not the law firm and the lawyer I hire will be my lawyer. And what I mean by that is not a face on a billboard, but never actually seeing that lawyer. I'm talking about hiring the lawyer that I want to represent me. And so when you come in, I am the one that meets you, and I will take you through every step of the process. I will handle the insurance companies. I will help you with your recovery. I will take you through that entire process. And knowing full well that that is my client, not just for today, but for the rest of their life.
Be smart. Protect yourself and your family. Call Jason Thompson, a lawyer for us. 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyer4us.com.
Today, I'm taking it to the streets to give people the good news. Oh, excuse me. Hello, I'm Flo from Progressive. And did you know?
No, I'm just waiting for the bus.
So then you have time to hear about how with Home Quote Explorer, you can check if you're paying too much for home insurance.
Yeah, if I was interested in talking to you, which I'm not.
Okay, I'll do the talking and you just check if you can be saving, which it's going to be pretty hard to do if you put on your headphones. Okay.
See if you're paying too much for home insurance with Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations.
It's so on. The SiriusXM Listen Free event is happening now. Just press the Sat button in your car to hear over 100 channels, including ad-free music of every kind, plus sports play-by-play and talk and news for everyone. Enjoy even more free when you download the SXM app. Hear expertly curated podcasts, ad-free extra channels of music for any mood, SiriusXM video, and the ability to create your own Pandora music stations. Don't miss out. Listen free now.
It is the Blitz. Thanks for joining us here on ESPN San Antonio. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. Cowboys are busy OTAing. We got eyes on the scene. We go to the very best. Mickey Spagnola joins us. He of DallasCowboys.com, the ranch, all those things and all the insight. Mickey, thank you so much for joining us today. How's practice?
Good to be with you guys, Rob and Jason. It was, it's been quite a while since we've seen an OTA practice because these didn't exist last year at this time. And we'd have to go back to May of 2019, the last time we saw an OTA practice. So it was another kind of small indication that we're creeping back to normalcy, not only in life, but in this football world. And the Cowboys, there's been a lot of contention on if these players should show up for these voluntary workouts and the NFLPA discouraging their members from doing so. But I think the Cowboys had all hands on deck on a 90-man roster. I think the only physical missing person was Ezekiel Elliott, and he was in the building today. He worked out with them yesterday, so not sure exactly why he didn't take part in the practice, but all hands on deck here without, as Dak Prescott said, us having any sort of discussion to encourage everybody to show up. So I think Mike McCarthy was very grateful for that since he didn't have that opportunity last year in his first year with the team.
How odd is it not to have any drama around the Cowboys this offseason?
Yeah, well, that's today. Check with me tomorrow, right? There's always drama awaiting here, or they sort of create it on their own, right? So, yeah, it was, it was good to see a football practice. It's been a long while, it seems.
Mickey Spagnola joining us here on the Blitz. The Cowboys in OTAs. We get to hear from Dak Prescott after a couple of workouts, 2 in a row, and that's certainly not going to be uncommon anymore. But, he tells us he's ready to go. How does he look? Do you see any discernible limp? Is there anything at all that would tell you that less than a year ago he was on a cart headed toward a hospital?
I've had the opportunity when he was doing his on-field rehab for, however long we've been able to see it. And I'll guarantee you, watching him do some of the stuff, at least a month ago, if not more, I had to remind myself, was it his left foot or his right foot? Because I saw no noticeable residue from the fractured, compound fracture and dislocated ankle he suffered, 5th game of the season in October. So he was moving well in his rehab, and watching him today, he had no problem whatsoever. No problem throwing the ball, no problem rolling out, no problem whatever they asked him to do. The only thing they didn't ask him to do is when they went 11 on 11, he stayed out of that. And even though there's no contact, sometimes there's a lot of congestion in the quarterback. So there's no need having his foot stepped on May 25th when you don't have to play a game till September 9th. He looked like Dak Prescott. The only difference I saw, they've got him listed at his weight from last year at 235. I bet he's no more than 225, and it's noticeable the shape he is in, and probably so since he spent all this time not only rehabbing but doing strength and conditioning work.
Well, that and the red jersey that they have him in, which is still kind of odd to see
Slimming.
A Cowboys quarterback wearing a red jersey. As Mickey Spagnola joins us here on ESPN San Antonio, let's talk about the defensive side. Jalen Smith, who now wears number 9, and we'll get into that in a moment maybe. But he said with new defensive coordinator Dan Quinn that his energy is infectious and that there is total buy-in. Those are words that we didn't get to hear last year in talking about Coach Nolan. And again, Nolan had to deal with COVID and probably is going to take a whole lot of heat that he probably didn't necessarily 100% deserve. But what are you noticing differently about the defense under Dan Quinn?
Yeah, and this, again, the first practice we've been able to see, and I think for your listeners' sake, they need to understand an OTA practice is helmets, jersey, and shorts. So there's no shoulder pads and there's no contact other than guys kind of, gratuitously bumping into each other. But it just seemed that everybody was on the same page. And remember, they've been able to do some of this stuff here over the last week or so in person. Now, they weren't on the field practicing, but they could work with the coaches. And I think it's not just Jaylon Smith saying that about Dan Quinn. I've heard it from other guys, and I heard it from Dak when he signed his contract, talking about how Dan Quinn is just so detail-oriented, and his personality is so infectious. And I could see when they were lining up defensively, there wasn't a lot of confusion. Guys were on the same page. So I don't know if they made it simpler or taught it better, but I think that's a good step in the right direction. You guys, I've been saying this all offseason. The most important offseason addition the Cowboys have had to make has to be Dan Quinn, because I think that, while the talent may have been somewhat lacking, it wasn't lacking enough last year to be that bad with that many broken coverages and that many just defensive mistakes to fall to giving up the most points in franchise history. So I think Dan Quinn can make a measurable difference on how this defense plays.
If he doesn't, there's going to be somebody in his office next year. You better improve off the worst of all time for the Cowboys.
Yeah, and I just think there was a disconnect last year. You know, I don't know. You blame it on COVID, blame it on no off season, not able to play any preseason, maybe trying to do too much different defensively than they had the past. I mean, think about it. The year before, they finished 9th overall in defense. They weren't great. They still gave up too many points. They were 11th against the run. Now suddenly you finish 24th in total defense, give up the most points in franchise history, and you're 31st against the run. So they didn't lose enough guys to make that big a difference last year. And I've been hard on Mike Nolan. And, you know, there's a reason why two things happened. Number one, it didn't take too long to move on for him. And number two, I think they already knew they were high on Dan Quinn, who became available, I think, after the 5th game of the season. I think he needs to make a difference if they're going to change that record.
And he needs to make a difference with Jalen Smith, who might have the most pressure on him. You know, at the end of the year, we were wondering if the Cowboys, even though they just signed him to the deal, would move on because he struggled so much last year. Changed his number, which is probably good. We need to forget about 54 from a year ago. He goes with number 9, but is there a player in your mind that has more pressure to have a good year than Jalen Smith?
I think he needs to have a huge rebound year, and he needs to earn it because it won't be given to him. There'll be some competition in that linebacker room. And from what I saw today, it was encouraging. Not just the fact that he was moving around out there, but he seemed to be more engaged. You know, one of the things I think last year, if you're on this defense and you lose Leighton Vander Esch for the number of games they did, he needs to step up and be the leader, right? He needs to be the guy that's on point. And I just think there were games he wasn't prepared for. And he just didn't seem to engage with his teammates. Well, just this practice, you know, I saw some fist bumping going on with guys making nice plays. It just seemed more vocal. I think that if he wants to hold on to his spot, that's what needs to happen. And I don't know, maybe number 9 will transform him into days gone by, right? Because it's what he wore in college. And he pointed out today that when he started playing football at 9 years old, he wore number 9 and has worn it in his entire life. So if that's all he needs to improve measurably, then good for them. But the linebacker core looks like, from just adding Micah Parsons, adding Jabril Cox, seeing Leighton Vander Esch healthy, seeing what maybe Keanu Neal can do in nickel situations as a weak side linebacker. I think we'll have some really good competition going forward for guys to earn snaps this year, and you won't earn them just because of who you are and what you're getting paid.
Oh, man, I'm envious. I wish I was watching that practice. He did. He's Mickey Spagnuolo, DallasCowboys.com. Okay, the defense, certainly, you know, focus was on the defense in the draft for sure. Of the rookies, and we'll exclude Micah from this because I get the feeling lots of cameras on. Anybody separate themselves, any of the new Cowboys?
I think it's early.
Is it too early?
Because, I mean, we got to see the rookie mini camp, right? But it was mostly drills, position drills, individual drills. They did a little, the one practice, they did some 7-on-7 and one 11-on-11. So it's hard to tell. So to me, the impression of seeing those 8 defensive guys they drafted was the majority, if not all, looked the part. Like they looked like they're supposed to be playing that position. No one was out there and you're going, geez, what'd they take that guy for, right? You know, Jabril Cox, I still, when I see him out there, I still can't believe he lasted till the 4th round in the draft. I know Kelvin Joseph hasn't played that much college ball. I think he's played like 15 games. But when you watch him, and this was an interesting, I guess, question for us from Everson Walls, who is on our podcast with him. He goes, how was his hips? He goes, that's how I judge corners. And the thing I noticed, he could backpedal and turn really well. He's got speed. Now it's a matter of, and he says it's not a matter, but it's a matter of, is football now his priority? Because evidently football wasn't a big priority for him at LSU, and I believe that's why he probably got invited to leave. And LSU probably puts up with a lot, right?
Yeah.
If you can go back to Tyrann Mathieu, right? So that spoke something about his commitment to football, but he contends he's all in. He looks like he's got the physical tools. Everybody was down on them for taking Nahshon Wright, the cornerback, at the end of the third round. But all I've done, a guy that's 6'4", but only 183, all I've seen from him is he makes plays. In the mini camp practice, he had a pick and a breakup. He had another breakup today. So maybe they found something with this guy. And even the other fourth-round pick, Josh Ball, the offensive lineman, he looks like an offensive tackle. Simi Fehoko, the wide receiver from UCLA, I don't think a lot of people knew about him. He had done a 2-year LDS mission before he started college. And I tell you what, he can run some routes. He catches the ball. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. And then even, the 6th round pick, Quentin Bohannon, the nose tackle, he looks the part. He's 6'4", 330, but he can move. He's got good feet. So we'll see where all this goes once the pads come on. But I thought the initial impression was they looked like they could play the position they were drafted to play.
That's good news. Mickey Spagnola from DallasCowboys.com here on ESPN San Antonio. Talked all kinds of things except safety. Are we set at the safety position? Are we comfortable with what we're at?
Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of competition there with the guys they brought in. I mentioned Keanu O'Neal, and they've got him working out to start as a linebacker. And then the other guys that they brought in, DeMonte Kazee from a safety from Atlanta. And Quinn knows him, right? Well, he's coming off an Achilles that he tore in October of last year. He was out there and he was moving well. So that boded well for him. And then Jaron Curse, another safety they brought in, he looked, and I thought he would just be a special teams guy, but he's got some quicks out there. So he looked good. Donovan Wilson returns. And by the way, Reggie Robinson, last year's 4th round pick, the corner from Tulsa that they moved to safety, he's back at cornerback, by the way. And actually, he had a breakup of a Dak Prescott pass today. So I thought between the safeties and the corner, and guys, goodness knows, a lot of times when you have a problem, the solution is to throw a lot of possibilities at solving it. They got 18 defensive backs on this roster right now. So if nothing else, there'll be a lot of competition, not only to make the team, but to earn some snaps.
Yeah, 18 fighting for it. I appreciate that. Mickey Spagnola here on ESPN San Antonio. Are they set at backup quarterback?
I don't think so, and nor should they be. I think they got to keep looking. Last Friday they worked out Brett Hundley, the former UCLA quarterback. As a matter of fact, Mike McCarthy's 5th round pick in 2015 in Green Bay. The unfortunate thing for him was, I don't know if he wasn't ready to play in 2017, but he had to play when Aaron Rodgers went down with a fractured collarbone, and he didn't play well. And before that, he didn't play as a rookie. And a little bit of irony here, because he ended up being the 3rd guy. The backup quarterback was Scott Tolzien, who basically is the Cowboys' offensive assistant now. And so they're back together again. And then his 2nd year, he played like mop-up in 3 games. And as we know, backups don't, get a lot of practice once the season starts. And then he got thrown to the wolves in 2017, didn't play very well at all, and the Packers decided to trade him. And he goes to Seattle in 2018, doesn't play any football, goes to Arizona, 2019 and got in mop-up duty, and last year didn't play at all. So he hadn't played a lot. They worked him out, and so to me, that means they're still kicking tires. And I think what you have to do, and what they will do, because Mike said they talked about a couple other quarterbacks today, is just look at what other teams are doing at the quarterback position and say, if that guy gets released, well, what can I pick up that guy? But I did a column last Friday on DallasCowboys.com on the backup quarterback, basically telling you guys, writing the same thing I told you, that they got to keep kicking tires and that some of these guys will get released. So I started canvassing the league to see who might get released because of all these quarterbacks that got drafted. There's a lot of teams that look like they're in worse position at backup quarterback than the Cowboys are. So who's ever getting released might not be any better than what they have right now. But the interesting one that I found was the Bears trading for Justin Fields. They had already signed Andy Dalton, right? $10.5 million on a one-year deal, and they still had Nick Foles. So I don't know if the Bears intend to have Justin Fields be a walk-in starter. But even if he's not, he's got to be being groomed as the backup, right? If, say, Andy Dalton starts. Well, one of those guys has got to go once Fields takes over, either Andy Dalton or Nick Foles. And I noticed for them to unload Nick Foles, it would cost them $14 million in dead money. So I don't know if they want to do that.
So Andy could be back.
And here's the twist. If they wanted to part ways with Andy Dalton because Justin Fields starting, his dead money is only $5.5 million. So I ended my column by saying, and you guys might be old enough to remember this old Western movie, Shane. And at the end, Shane's riding into the sunset, and the little kid's going, "Come back, Shane, come back." And I'm going, well, come back, Andy, if they let him go.
So what I'm hearing, though, is my dream of having RG3 with the star in his helmet probably isn't going to happen.
I mean, would he come in and be better than what they have? I don't know. Now, he's played more than the guys they have currently. But the evaluation of those guys last year really wasn't fair, right? You had to throw Ben DiNucci to the Wolves without any, a 7th-round pick from James Madison. He gets no offseason. He gets no preseason. They're not in the building. Everything he's learning is remotely. And then he's got to go play a game after Dak goes down, or after Andy Dalton goes down. And then Garrett Gilbert, he's been in the league. He hasn't played much. He's here 1 week. The next week, he's got to get ready to start. I'm not sure how fair it was, but I think they'll keep looking, and maybe they bring somebody in and somebody gets sacrificed, maybe Cooper Rush, and they say, okay, let's compete. Let's go to training camp and see who can do what. I still think they got to look at it. If they can improve it, great. But boy, well, check this out. So I looked at what the other quarterbacks, the other teams have at quarterback, right? And check out Detroit. So they bring in Jared Goff with the trade, with Stafford going to the Rams. The other quarterbacks on the Lions are Tim Boyle and David Blau. Okay? And if we go to the Rams, behind Stafford now, John Wolford, Delvin Hodges, and Bryce Perkins.
Well, Delvin only play if he can get off work.
Yeah. So it's like, not everybody's set. Some of the teams are in good shape. Colt McCoy with Arizona. A.J. McCarron went to Atlanta. You got Case Keenum behind Baker Mayfield in Cleveland. But a lot of these teams, the Giants behind Daniel Jones, Mike Glennon, and Clayton Thorson, former Cowboy, right? The Jets are ready.
Thorson?
Yeah, right. The Jets are ready. I'm assuming they're going to start Zach Wilson. The other two quarterbacks on their roster right now, James Morgan, and does this name ring a bell? Mike White, who the Cowboys parted with.
Yeah.
Mickey, I got a question then. You're talking about all these different teams with, no-name backups. Is it the realization that if number one goes down, number two, no matter how prepared he is normally going to be young, is going to be, new in the system. Is there the realization that if your number one goes down, what's the point? That your season is pretty much done anyway?
I started my calling off by saying, where did all the quarterbacks go? Because there doesn't seem to be enough. In some cases, there's not enough to have 32 starters, let alone to find one capable of being a backup. That's why Andy Dalton last year was such a luxury, to have a guy that had started 9 straight years, and you got him for basically $3 million plus incentives. There's just not enough backup quarterbacks the way they used to be in the day, right? Some of the guys that were starters, and once you weren't a starter anymore and there was no salary cap, they could keep you to be the experienced backup. And if you needed to come in and spell a guy like a relief pitcher, you didn't take the guy's job. You just came in to maybe you could do a better job than he was. So, yeah, the quarterback position, you guys follow college football. I don't know. I don't know if there's not enough quarterbacks to go around, or if they're not trained enough, and that when they come into your system, I don't think they allow you in the NFL to hold up signs, right? And send in the plays, or wait till, 10 seconds to go before the ball has to be snapped, and they're changing plays for you, right? Instead of the quarterback reading all this stuff. So, a lot of times these guys aren't as prepared as they need to be, and I think they get sacrificed because of the money they make. They get thrown in there, and they're not prepared to play.
He's Mickey Spagnola. He's always prepared to play. Thanks for stopping by, Mickey. Make sure you're following all this stuff at DallasCowboys.com. We'll have lots of conversations as we get closer and closer to training camp. And we are hearing rumors that that's a full go for Oxnard. Do you hear anything different?
Well, it's a full go intention.
Right.
It's not official yet, but when Jerry gets his mindset on doing something, it usually gets done. So from the team standpoint, they are preparing like there's a good possibility they can go. I see where the NFL today basically gave teams permission to, if the state and the city allow you, then you can have fans to watch training camp practice. So now I think it comes down to the Cowboys, as Mike McCarthy said, getting the official stamp. And I think the rest of that not only has to come from the NFL and the NFLPA approving the Cowboys safety plan, but also to get the okay from the state of California and the city of Oxnard to say, yeah, you can come and we can have fans here. So I think we're getting closer to that, but it's not official just yet. I'm pulling for it because I missed my month in the nice weather of Oxnard compared to what it is here in August and the end of July.
You're preaching to the choir,
no
man.
kidding. Well, keep putting in the good word and thinking the good thought. Maybe we'll all get together and have a fish taco up there in Oxnard. Mickey.
Absolutely. Good being with you guys. Check in anytime.
Mickey Spagnola. Follow his stuff at DallasCowboys.com. If you're not doing that, you're not a Cowboy fan, are you? Coming back. Lots more to talk about. Don't forget, we got guests coming your direction. Doug Gottlieb will be here at 6:15. We're looking at the Spurs' 12th pick there in the upcoming draft. We're doing some injuries with Dr. Christian Baldwin coming back. We're looking at the games last night, and the Spurs, they lost again today. We'll tell you how that goes. Coming up, you're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. Did you wake up this morning tight, sore, something bothering you? You got something that is painful that just won't go away? A soft tissue injury like a sprain or a strain. If you're dealing with that, stop. Call my friends over to Rosti. Rosti providers, they are passionate about getting you out of those chronic pains, soft tissue injuries like sprains and strains that just hang around. Maybe you're dealing with a frozen shoulder, a bad hip, plantar fasciitis, whatever it might be. Rosti can get it fixed in a remarkably short amount of time. Get you out of pain. That's what they do. I'm not talking about surgery and non-invasive procedure for sure. All it is your body being adjusted, essentially manipulated, the musculature taken care of, the muscle tissue kind of twinged and fixed. Whatever they do, I'll tell you what, it works. I've had lower back pain for years. and it would go out periodically, and it'd put me on the ground for 3-4 weeks. That's just what it was. I'd been doing it long enough to understand. Went to my favorite Arasti provider a little over 4 years ago. Now, I still have the back issues, but when I do, I'm out of pain in a remarkably short amount of time. A third, quite frankly. No longer a month on my back. 3 visits from Arasti, and most of the time I'm back in the game. And on top of that, I was taught to keep my back strong and to help myself when I need to get myself out of pain. Arasti does that. You'll see that when you go to their website, arasti.com. It's spelled AIRROSTI.com. But if you're in pain right now, I want to get you out of it. I want you to call this number, 1-800-404-6050. That's Arasti's number. And go ahead and dial it. You're not going to need a referral. Just go ahead and make your call and make your appointment. And if you want to find your provider, go to the website, arasti.com. There's a map on the site. I'm pretty sure there's a provider less than 10 minutes from where you are now. They are all around San Antonio. Don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. Get yourself back in the game. Call an Arasti provider. Get in there and get yourself taken care of. You'll thank them first, and I'm sure then you'll thank me later.
Show us your meat.
On a grill.
Take a picture and upload it to ESPNSA.com, and you could win a $50 gift card from Tri-County Meat Market if you do. Grilling with the Blitz every Thursday.
My name is Sue. I'm 58 and I work with kindergartners. I've been overweight all my life. Over the years, my weight led to high cholesterol, joint pain, and body aches. Getting up and down with kids was hard. I couldn't sit on the floor without finding something to help me up. Once I got up, hip pain would prevent me from walking normally. I had heard the Institute for Functional Health commercials for a long time and thought, maybe this will help me. I called and met with Dr. Torres and immediately liked him. He was very personable. I can't explain it, but something finally clicked inside me. After being on his program, I lost 45 pounds, and for the first time in my life, I feel comfortable and am proud of myself. My husband and I have been married 25 years, and I'm now thinner than the day we met. My blood work is optimal, I'm active, better at my job, and I feel in control of my health. This has truly changed my life.
Call for your complimentary consultation, 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health.
You know, if you're having issues at the house with your plumbing, your heating, your AC, you know there is one company to call, and that is Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. 210-651-5899 is the phone number. At Quartermoon, they are experts at worst-case scenarios, a full-service plumbing company, big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. They do not have commissioned sales reps. They'll provide estimates and second opinions. A great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. And at Quartermoon, they are green certified. 210-651-5899, 651-5899, or online, quartermoonplumbing.com. If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Does learning a language feel like this?
No habla español? Hablo. It's hablo? Yes. It's hablo.
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
Since my husband is from Guatemala, I'll apply what I've learned in Babbel to our real life situations.
The app is so easy to use and it's so practical. It helps you learn things that you will actually need.
Babbel, language for life, celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at babbel.com. That's babbel.com, BABBEL.com.
When your AC fails in the San Antonio heat, there is no time to search. Save Service First in your contacts and have an AC tech on speed dial 24/7. Service First. Save us before you need us.
Have Service First in your phone, 521-1500.
For 37 years, Mother's Window Tint has been the Texas All-Star for window tint, car stereos, and auto security. Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters, is saving you money right now. Stop more heat for less dollars with tint as dark as you want. We carry over 60 different professional films. Car thieves are stealing catalytic converters more than ever. So get a car alarm from Mothers that will even start your car by remote control. Save $100. Streaming music and your favorite podcast is easier and cheaper than ever with a new Alpine car stereo or Kicker speakers or a JBC amplifier. At Mothers Window Tint super discount stores in Austin and San Antonio, they're all on sale. No time limit layaway. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. MothersWindowTint.com. Follow us on Facebook. Mothers Window Tint. Remember, do it at Mothers and save.
All right, is that a Q2 or Q3 expense?
Dwayne's CPA went MIA.
No.
To keep his books and his sanity, he needs to find a replacement ASAP.
Hey, Johnny, have you ever heard of a fungible good?
Indeed can help him hire the people he needs.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs.
On winning teams, every player brings their unique strength and has an impact on the results. For the Showtime Los Angeles Lakers of the 80s, one of those players was Michael Cooper. He was one of only 3 players to play on all 5 of their championships. Alongside Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Cooper was the Defensive Player of the Year in 1987 and made the All-Defensive Team for 8 straight years. A vital role for the Showtime Lakers.
Build your winning team today. Go to linkedin.com/sports.
Just like in basketball, adding talent to your team right now gets you even, but adding the right talent right now, that gets you an edge. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the best candidates with the experience, skills, and motivation you need. Post a job in minutes with your must-have criteria, and LinkedIn Jobs will match you to the most qualified people across their network of 740 million professionals. You could have your star players in place this summer. Post your first job for free at linkedin.com/sports. That's linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
It's the Blitz. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. Thank Mickey Spagnola for stopping by. If you missed any of it, you can go to ESPNSA.com. You'll see the audio vault brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and listen to it in its entirety. Mickey had a lot to say, and we'll have it up there post-haste. Don't forget Doug Gottlieb will be here in about 20 minutes or so. We're going to look at the San Antonio Spurs potential draft pick. I want to talk about this real quick. This is out of the WNBA. Her name is what's her name?
Liz Cambridge.
Cambadge. Is it Cambridge? Cambadge.
Okay, sure.
She's Aussie and is in the WNBA. Big girl, post 6'8", big girl. The head coach of the Connecticut Sun, his name is Kurt Miller, was coaching a game as the Sun were playing the Las Vegas Aces, of which Cambadge is a player, and was upset with the referee regarding the lack of a foul call that Cambadge was pushed off the block and felt that was wrong, and that his player didn't cause the foul because Cambadge was big. He went so far as to say, "You can't move her. She weighs 300 pounds." Cambadge heard that, and in a post-game Instagram post, let Coach Miller have it. Now, Coach Miller has now paid, is going to be fined, what, $10,000?
Fined $10,000 and suspended for 1 game. And, I mean, part of it, as a guy, you never bring up a female's weight. You just don't. Whether it's big, whether it's little, whatever it is, that's kind of off limits. Although when you're coaching and you're trying to prove a point, just like when you would talk about trying to move Shaq, or, the other day, little Chris Paul body slamming and ripping off the arm of LeBron James. I mean, there are certain things in coaching that I think you would just say, but as a dude, that you never, ever bring up weight. The worst thing that can happen is when she says, "Do I look fat in this?" There is no right answer, right? I mean, you just can't. So he went there, and I think the fine and the suspension, I don't. It seems a little much to me from the WNBA.
We're about to define irony. If you're ever curious how you define irony, I want you to listen to Miss Cambadge's, I don't know, she's angry.
Yeah, she goes on Instagram and posts this story again after he called her big. Her response and gets fined and suspended. What'd you call it? Defining irony?
This is irony.
This is her Instagram story.
But something went down in today's game, and I need to speak on it because if there's one thing about me is that I will never let a man disrespect me. Ever, especially a little white one. So to the coach of Connecticut, I'm sorry, little sir man, I do not know your name. But the next time you try to call out a referee, trying to get a call being like, come on, she's 300 pounds. I'm going to need you to get out, baby, because I'm 6'8". I just double checked because I love to be correct and get facts. I'm weighing 235 pounds and I'm very proud of being a big body, Big Ben's baby. So don't ever try to disrespect me or another woman in the league. I don't know if that's how coaches run. You just try to disrespect women like that from the sideline. And you're so lucky it was during a game.
Because what? What would have happened?
That whole part. You were so lucky that I was doing my job. Anyway, to that little man, whole little tiny, where is you? Stop trying to project your insecurities, baby. Pick up the phone, call the psych, because you're projecting some bullshit now. And next time you try to disrespect me, remember, I'm 235. It might seem like 300 pounds to your little ass. I'm 235, baby. Oh, I do have to say one more thing.
Oh, no.
I think there's a big difference between players and players. Talking shit on the court before a coach for another team to be yelling protected abuse because we can't do nothing back. It's just crazy to me. And I be talking a lot, and I didn't even say nothing tonight.
Oh, but you said a lot there on Instagram, Liz, and you were disrespected because, and he didn't even say it to your face. He was talking to the ref, but said she's 300 pounds. He just threw that out there, and I'm glad that she is secure enough, as she said, she's proud of her size. That's awesome. As a girl dad, I like hearing that. But I don't know that that in defending him calling you big, that you can talk about him being a little guy. And then she brings in race because I'm not going to be disrespected by a little white man. And then, I don't even know where he is over there. He's so little. I just, it is irony. I'm curious if the WNBA now has to come back to her with the discipline. He got suspended one game and fined $10,000. Will she be disciplined for what she said on Instagram?
I don't know. What he did was wrong. He did. I'm not going to defend anything. You shouldn't be talking about anybody's weight. Now, but again,
in the context of coaching, I've heard coaches talk about
absolutely.
that.
I'm not, and that doesn't
guys,
justify anything that
Sure.
anybody's done. And as a coach, as a teacher, as a person, if you're speaking to somebody and you say something that makes them feel bad about themselves, you hurt them, you're using violent language, whatever it might be. We don't condone any of that. So it's wrong to say she's 300 pounds, but come on. This is so minor for you to blow this up even bigger and cost him $10,000 and their coach for a game, and then to do the exact same thing to him, not to somebody near him like he did. You said it to him, you little white man. We've gone too far, man. You're big, you're huge, you're 6'8", and you're 235. This isn't the first time you've heard it. You'd think you'd be a little bit tougher, a little bit thicker skinned. 656-3776. There are Kielbasa Bacon phone lines. I got somebody want to talk about?
Let's go to him. Claymore, you're on the Blitz. What's up, man?
Hey, guys, great show as always. So I commented about this yesterday on Twitter. So here's my thing. Can you imagine Shaq, Oliver Miller, Stanley Robinson, Dinner
Bell, Mel Turpin?
Right? Right. Can you imagine any of these big dudes being offended about their weight? So here's the thing I don't get about the NBA. I love the WNBA game, but then they want to be placed on an equal footing with the dudes. They want people to support their game. So then what happened to trash talking? So you can't trash talk anybody because you're going to offend somebody, right? That's what this has come down to.
True.
You know, I do think there is a difference if players are trash talking players and a coach. But he didn't direct it at the player. He was talking to the ref. Come on, my player didn't move her. She's 300 pounds. Are you kidding? Where's the call? And if she was offended by it, to do the same thing by calling him little and bringing in race, it's two wrongs. They're both wrong in this case. But I think the WNBA, and I haven't read their reasoning on why a game and $10,000, but I think that was pretty harsh for the crime.
Let's talk some injuries, even injured feelings. It's time for the injury update. You had a sports institute at TSAOG. We'll be right back. You're on the Blitz.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Hey, we get it. You don't want to be hearing a Progressive commercial right now, so let us tell you something you do want to hear. You are powerful. You're a warrior who bathes in your enemy's tears. Then you step out of that refreshing tear bath and into a bathrobe that somehow looks good on you. Yeah, you can pull off a robe. There. Don't you feel better? You'll also feel better when you save money for driving safely with Snapshot from Progressive. Savings you can use to buy more robes. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California, North Carolina, or from all agents.
Summer, it's almost here, but Memorial Day savings are already at the Home Depot. In-store, online, store-wide. Like 5 bags of Garden Fresh mulch for just $10. Save on everything from flower beds to a fresh coat of paint. From power tools to ceiling fans. Ready, set, summer. Memorial Day savings, here now, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Limit 75 bags per customer. Color selection varies by store. While supplies last, continental U.S. only.
Jason Minix here for Alamo Water Softeners. Don't wait until you think you have a problem with your water before calling Alamo Water Softeners. Have Alamo Water Softeners come to your house and give you a free water analysis and free estimate. In the month of May, you can get a free reverse osmosis system with the purchase of select new water softeners while supplies last. Discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference. Go to alamowatersofteners.com. That's alamowatersofteners.com.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
I'm with Jason Thompson, owner of the Thompson Law Firm. Jason, if someone's in a serious collision, what should they do?
Call me as soon as possible after the collision. If a bad driver, a drunk driver, a driver of a commercial or company vehicle crashes into you or a family member, the most important decision you will make for yourself and your family is choosing the right lawyer. You should know that the insurance companies already have their own attorneys, and you should too. If you or a family member has been seriously injured in a traffic collision, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My phone number is 900-0400, or just remember my website, alawyer4us.com. I practice law right here in San Antonio for more than 20 years, helping people and families just like yours. I believe you and your family need an attorney who is honest, loyal, experienced, professional, someone you would be proud to call your lawyer.
Your lawyer, Jason Thompson, named one of San Antonio's best personal injury attorneys and a Texas super lawyer. Call Jason Thompson, a lawyer for us. 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or go to alawyer4us.com.
At CDW, we get the people who need to sign here aren't always here.
Tell me about it. I'm always chasing down signatures. I go through pens and shoes like chewing gum.
Sounds like you need Adobe Sign orchestrated by CDW to securely automate e-signatures and workflows across devices from anywhere. Integrating with existing tools, Sign can save your organization time, money, and miles.
Thank goodness. I can finally take these shoes off.
No. Back on. IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/Adobe Sign.
Do you suffer from lower back pain, knee pain, foot pain, or fallen arches? Do you? If yes, just stop and write this magic word, G-Defy, G-D-E-F-Y. What is G-Defy? G-Defy is the footwear designed by Gravity Defier Medical Technology with the worldwide patented VersoShock sole. Their shoes are clinically shown to relieve pain by a double-blind clinical study conducted by OliveView UCLA Medical Center. You can try a pair for 30 days with free corrective fit orthotic inserts. If you're not satisfied, just return the shoes for a full refund and keep the free orthotics as a gift. Put an end to suffering. Save $20 and get free shipping from Gravity Defier when you go to gdefy.com/radio and use code RADIO. That's gdefy.com/radio, code RADIO. You have nothing to lose but your pain.
From the Mother's Window Tint Studios. Online at motherswindowtint.com. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. KZDC San Antonio. Jason Minix, Rob Thompson, the Blitz.
It is the Blitz. Welcome on to ESPN San Antonio. We're so glad to have you. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. James Pledger. Just on the other side of the double pane glass, taking us all the way till 7 o'clock. This is a busy hour. We're talking injuries with Dr. Christian Baldwin. Doug Gottlieb of Premier Radio is going to join us at 6:15 as we look around the NBA and look closely at the Spurs draft options at number 12. And we'll hear from Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. But first, let's talk injuries for all those great basketball games coming our direction with Dr. Christian Baldwin. It's time for the ESPN San Antonio Injury Update that is always powered to you by the Sports Institute at TSA OG Orthopedics. Welcome on, Dr. Baldwin. How's your day going?
James, doing great, guys. How are y'all?
We're doing well. Before we get into the basketball, let's talk a little bit about Dak Prescott. We know about the injury he had, the compound fracture, going through OTAs today. We were talking with Mickey Spagnola from DallasCowboys.com earlier, and he said he was moving around so well with no limp that he had to think about which leg was actually broken. Mike McCarthy, the head coach, says he is ahead of schedule. Dak said if he had to play today, he could. Are you buying that from a medical standpoint?
You know, I really do. These injuries, they look really, really gruesome, but as long as you get through the very beginning of them without an infection first and foremost, and then you get good fixation on them, they tend to heal pretty consistently and reliably. So I don't see that being an issue of him coming back quickly here as we get going close to the season.
You know, he talked as he came off the field today that it takes him a bit longer to warm up, to get the leg moving a little bit. You know, we all get a little bit older and things get a little tense. Why is it after the break that it takes longer to loosen up? It's a joint, right? It shouldn't need to be loosened.
Well, it is the bones right above the joint, so it does go into the joint itself. But, you know, anytime you have a break like that, you immobilize it. You saw him in the boot for a while, and he may have been in a cast for a bit right after surgery. So, you know, you immobilize any joint for a period of time, you're going to get stiff. And then you got to have some atrophy of the muscles around that joint. So it takes a little while to, number one, get the motion back, and then number two, get the confidence back in the leg, and finally, really to get the strength and the ability to move around like you were used to. So that he's complaining of some stiffness and needing a little bit extra time in the beginning, that's completely normal.
Dr. Christian Baldwin with us here on ESPN San Antonio. He's from TSAOG Orthopedics. Let's shift to basketball. The Phoenix Suns, Los Angeles Lakers. Lots of bad shoulders in this one. We'll start with Chris Paul. CP3 had, I guess it's being described as a stinger in that game. It looked like he was having trouble handling the ball, couldn't feel parts of his hands. I was surprised he was still out there, but he says he's going to be fine, for game 2. When you talk about a stinger like that and when you can't feel your hands and you're having trouble dribbling the basketball, and I know they left him in there, was that the wise move on their medical staff and coaching staff's part?
Hindsight's always 2020. It's certainly difficult to say sitting here on the sidelines commentating on it. But stingers, there's different varieties of stingers. You can have an injury to the neck. You can have an actual stretch of the nerve itself, closer towards the hand or in the shoulder area. So, stingers, a little bit of a loose term. So it really depends on how he was behaving in the locker room at that point, or even on the sideline. Anytime you hear somebody losing feeling in a hand, it's a bit concerning, and it's easy to comment on it afterwards. But if they felt that he was good to go, I'm sure he was.
He is Dr. Christian Baldwin at TSAOG Orthopedics, and there are so many strange injuries out there. We're going to kind of get to them rapid fire. But first, in the basketball world, we saw Robert Williams, he had post for the Celtics, and Miles Turner post for the Pacers, are both dealing with turf toe. Miles hadn't been able to play for a while. Williams obviously hobbled. Explain to me again what turf toe is, and why don't they have a worse sounding name for the malady that it is? Because it is just about if you're dealing with turf toe, you just about cannot play.
Yeah, it's really difficult. And again, everything comes in different degrees. And so if you have a significant injury, it can be season ending for sure. It involves really the joint of the big toe, close to the very end of it. And it involves the plantar plate, which is really a ligamentous capsular area on the bottom of the toe. And it's usually, from a significant hyperflexion or the toe bending in too much of a way that it causes stretch and injury to that complex. And it can be very debilitating. I mean, if you remember all the way back to when Deion Sanders was playing, he was dealing with it. And it's something I think we talked about turf toe at least once a year ever since we started, chatting with you guys several years ago. So, it's a pretty common injury and can be very painful and debilitating.
Well, absolutely. And again, I used to make fun of Deion Sanders and turf toe until I actually broke my toe, and I realized just how painful it could be. The dog would walk by, and the tail of the dog would brush it, and it would make you jump out of the chair. And you kind of feel foolish when your toe hurts, right? I mean, but probably not as foolish as Zach Plesac of the Cleveland Indians feels, because he injured his thumb while taking off his shirt too fast and banging it on a chair.
Yeah, he clearly his emotions get the best of him, it sounds like, and ended up with a very unfortunate injury. It's hard to know exactly what they mean by that, but the thumb is, as you know, very critical to being able to grip anything, and certainly a baseball. And so it depends on what kind of injury it is. Sometimes you can have an avulsion injury, which you actually injure the ligament and tears off a piece of bone, and that can potentially need surgery. So I think he's planning on seeing a hand specialist here in the next day or two.
Yeah, he is. They're calling it a non-displaced fracture of his right thumb. That, according to the manager, he was after the game aggressively taking off his shirt in the clubhouse and caught his thumb on the chair.
Yeah, that's interesting reporting, and imagine.
That's a hard lesson learned. You were just too aggressive, man. You're going to have to ease back on taking off your shirt. He is Dr. Christian Baldwin. This is your ESPN San Antonio injury update. Now, this one isn't quite as silly, but it sounds just as strange. Pitcher for the Rangers, Kohei Arihara, was out with a finger injury for a bit, but it looks like things are significantly worse because he has an injury I have never heard of. How do you have an aneurysm in your right shoulder? What is that?
Well, it sounds like it's an aneurysm. Aneurysm basically means an enlargement of a blood vessel, so that can be quite debilitating. And depending on how big it is and where it is, it can put, number one, it can put pressure on other structures such as nerves, causing pain, or it can put the vessel itself at risk. And so, I'd have to find out a little bit more about what kind of aneurysm he's having. But aneurysms are not too uncommon, to be honest with you. And they're basically a breakage of the vessel wall of the blood vessel, and they can be causing quite a few issues. Everybody's heard of a brain injury,
right?
Yeah.
So and that can occur throughout the rest of the body as well, and cause issues that go along with it. So
learn something new every day. I've heard of brain. Yeah. I know about an aneurysm around your heart. My grandfather had that. I didn't know you could get an aneurysm in your shoulder.
What do you do? Tighten it up? Lessen it? I mean, how do you fix an aneurysm? If it's an enlarged vessel, do you decrease its size? I mean, how do you fix that?
Yeah, and that would require the assistance of a vascular surgeon to likely either bypass it or you can sometimes stent them. But you're getting out of my area here of the musculoskeletal stuff, for sure. So I don't want to comment on it too much, but it can definitely be debilitating. So,
a shoulder aneurysm. Just one more of the many baseball injuries that we'll cover as the season prolongs. He is Dr. Christian Baldwin. This has been the ESPN San Antonio Injury Update that is always powered to you by the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Check them out online at tsaog.com. Dr. Baldwin, thanks for stopping by. Stay safe. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks so much. You too.
You need a vascular surgeon, Jason. Yeah, a whole other doctor.
Apparently.
You need another one. You got an aneurysm in your shoulder. It's not going to be easy to deal with. Doug Gottlieb will join us next. We're talking NBA and the Spurs specifically. They will be drafting number 12 this year. We'll tell you how they got that coming up next. Doug will be with us here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
And Jason Minix here for Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram truck, part of the Ancira Itonado complex. Easy for me to tell you about and recommend Ancira because I am a longtime Ancira customer. Through the years, I have bought many vehicles from Ancira, including one that I have now. My daughter's car is from Ancira, so is my niece's car. If you're in the market for a new vehicle, no better place to go than Ancira. And it's because of how well Ancira takes care of you before, during, and most importantly, after the sale. That great customer service is why Ancira has been a top family-run dealership in San Antonio for decades. They're going to make sure you're getting the vehicle you want with all the options and features that you're looking for. They'll give you great value on your trade-in, the best rebates and financing options available, and price made Ancira number one. Price keeps Ancira number one. So think Ancira. Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram truck, part of the Ancira Itonado complex on I-10 West between Wurzbach and Huebner.
The NBA playoffs are on ESPN San Antonio. Brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom. Online at mellowmushroom.com. From the play-in to the finals, we've got you covered. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
How do you feel about your weight? How do you feel about how you feel? If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, if you know you're overweight, borderline obese, or more so, you can get it fixed. And I'm not talking about going and buying a book or getting online or getting on some kind of meal service. Get to the root of the problem. Fix what you're doing, and you will literally change your life. That is Dr. Jacob Torres' advice to me and all those that go to the Institute for Functional Health. Dr. Torres is passionate about getting you healthier. He's the only physician I've ever met that was so eager to get me off of every medication I was on. And he knew that if I started dropping weight, a variety of those would be taken care of. I walked into his office a year and a half ago weighing nearly 300 pounds. Didn't feel bad about myself, but I knew I didn't feel all that good. You carry that extra weight, you're not sleeping well, your joints hurt all the time, your knees and ankles are sore, whether you're sitting, standing, or walking. And the day after all that, and then just trying to muster up the energy for everyday life. You start losing weight, you start seeing that energy return, and it gets easier going down the line. But first, you need to meet with Dr. Torres to get yourself healthy, get the weight off of you, and then it's amazing how quickly you start feeling good about how you look and how you live. Dr. Torres has put together a program specific for me. You won't get on the same plan I'm on because your biology is different. Your age is different. The things you're dealing with are very different. This is not an off-the-rack situation. This is a medical professional putting together a weight loss program for you, monitoring you, with you, working with you, coaching you, cajoling you, maybe even chastising you as you are on a weight loss journey, a wellness journey. I want you to call Dr. Torres. Meet with him free of charge, however you'd like. If a Zoom or a telecall would be better, that's fine. If you want to go down in person, I recommend that. Go see their great facility down there on Ashby and meet all those great folks. But here's the number, 210-468-1891. You can talk with Dr. Torres, find out what I know. He'll explain exactly what the process is. It's easy. You'll learn what to eat, when to eat, how to eat, all over again. And oh my goodness, you'll start losing weight and feeling so much better about yourself. If you're dealing with headaches or inflammation, joint pain, digestive issues, those can all be fixed with just losing a bit of weight. Call Dr. Torres, meet with him, find out all that there is to be found, and you'll jump on the program, I'm sure. Go check out their website, iffhealth.com. It is the best thing that I've ever done for myself. Get yourself in better health. You'll see benefits all around your life. Call Dr. Torres and the IFF today. Once you get on the program, I'm sure you'll thank him, but I know You'll thank me later.
If you're a bacon lover, I've got great news for you. This is Michael Kilbasa with Kilbasa Smoked Meats. Our authentic dry-cured bacon is now available at grocery stores near you. We make it the old-fashioned way with the finest pork bellies in our legendary spice blend. We don't pump it full of water or chemicals like other brands. All you get is thick, savory slices of delicious bacon. I hope you'll give it a try, and if it's not the best bacon you've ever eaten, I'll give you your money back. Kilbasa Smoked Meats, slow-crafted in Texas since 1949.
We all like things to be easy and convenient, and New Brakes has done that with brake repair. Jason Minnick's here for New Brakes, nubrakes.com. They're a mobile brake shop. They will come to your home or office or wherever you are and fix your brakes. If your brakes are bad or going bad, go to nubrakes.com and schedule your repair. New Brakes provides convenient and affordable brake repairs, and they only fix brakes, so you won't get the upsells like at a traditional repair shop. Most repairs are done in less than an hour. New Brakes uses premium brake parts, and they back all repairs with a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty. If your brakes are squeaky or grindy, go to nubrakes.com. Schedule your repair. Save 10% when you mention my name or ESPN San Antonio. nubrakes.com. Busy at work or just relaxing at the house, you continue to do what you do while New Brakes fixes your brakes. They're great at what they do. Go read all their 5-star reviews and schedule your repair at nubrakes.com.
If your dream vacation does not include your spouse, it might be time for a permanent getaway. Call the Divorce Dude with Polling Law PLLC. The Divorce Dude will help you get a fast, affordable, agreed divorce. But if you want to fight, the Divorce Dude will fight for you. DivorceDude.com gives you easy legal options and sticks with you every step of the way. Call George, the Divorce Dude, 210-201-0303. That's 210-201-0303 or DivorceDude.com.
Wendy's Frosty Chino is cold brew with frosty creamer. What does that mean? It means we took rich, smooth cold brew and then added your choice of vanilla or chocolate frosty creamer. Can you say good morning? Or better yet, Wendy's Frosty Chino? It's cold brew with frosty creamer. It's only at Wendy's and it's delicious. So ditch the stuffy coffee shop and say hasta la vista, barista. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's Frosty Chino and start your morning right.
At participating U.S. Wendy's.
It's the Blitz. You're on ESPN San Antonio. Blitz is brought to you by the Thompson Law Firm. Jason Thompson, an experienced personal injury attorney, is a phone call away 24 hours a day. 210-900-0400. The website is alawyerforus.com. Well, the Spurs lost yet again. They're not even playing. They lost a coin flip today. They're going to be drafting 12. Let's talk some basketball and look around the NBA playoffs with an expert, Doug Gottlieb of Fox Sports Radio, Premier Radio. You've seen him on TV, doing games, talking sports, and we're glad to have him aboard. Doug, welcome on with Jason and I. How's your day going?
It's good. It's good. I guess Monday's summer, but it's good. We got a little turn here in California. A little breezy, but beautiful, 75. I'm sure it's beautiful in Texas.
Yeah, it is. It's not California. We're just glad to hear we're closer and closer to booking our trips out to Oxnard for Cowboys training camp.
Yeah, how good is that spot right there, right?
Well,
that's
you leave South Texas.
Every year we drive up there. Oxnard's a sneaky little gem, It's not overpriced like Santa Barbara, but it's, halfway in between. It's pretty cool. So that's a good spot. And obviously the Cowboys, they got some dudes now on offense. Let's see if they can actually beat somebody who's good.
Doug Gottlieb joining us here on the Blitz. The Spurs are going to be drafting 12th. You've seen the Spurs for the last couple of years slowly kind of diminish into a team in the rebuild mode. Drafting at 12 and looking what's out there and available and knowing the weaknesses that the Spurs offered. In your opinion, where should the Spurs go? It doesn't have to necessarily be a player, Doug. A position that you see is the biggest need for them. Where would you go?
Well, I don't think you can. I don't think it's like the NFL draft where you can go, reach for a need. I mean, this is not a great NBA draft, and they are very much prospects. You do have some kids at the top that can really play. But once you get into that 12, I mean, the Spurs, they'll probably do something like this kid named Josh Giddey from Australia, who's like a 6'8" point guard. He's got some speed and athleticism stuff to work on, and I think he needs to become a little bit more of a shooter. but he has a ton of potential. So I don't think you can. I just honestly don't think you can go, hey, we need a big here. We need a guard, especially now. Like, you're going to need somebody who is versatile. You're not getting a potential superstar at that spot. There are some potential stars in this draft, but they're not at 12. So it's a little bit of no man's land. And I think you got to decide, am I going to take an upside guy or get somebody who's, a well-rounded, a Corey Kispert who can really, really shoot.
Yes.
But is probably no better than, your fifth best starter or a bench player most of his career.
Yeah, but, he could shoot threes. And watching Gonzaga play and watching him shoot threes and then watching the Spurs not able to make a three to save their life during the NBA season. And around 12, you would imagine Corey Kispert probably is still going to be available. And you've watched the Spurs for a number of years. A lot of times NBA draft rolls around and it's going to be a guy from a country I can't find on a map and with a name I can't pronounce, and he's going to be stashed overseas or maybe in Austin. At 12, I don't know if they can get an impact player for next year, but they have to get somebody that can provide something, don't they?
I mean, look, that's in that therein lies the rub. Do you get a Corey Kispert who can really, really shoot, and can play some right away, but it's going to have some athletic limitations, or do you stick with the idea of drafting a foreign guy who's going to develop over time? I mean, is Corey Kispert going to be the difference for you? No. I mean, they got to figure out the rest of their roster and what it looks like, not just for this coming year, but for, years to come. Like, obviously part of their issue is their point guard is not a great shooter. I kind of knew that coming into the year. So you're going to have to surround him and support him with shooting. That kind of adds to your point. But yeah, they're in that no man's land of trying to be competitive and yet still having you're competitive to a point. I mean, DeJounte Murray's not a great shooter, obviously. How many guys on that roster right now are guys you say, okay, well, they're going to be starters for years to come, right? Vassal's a kid who I think, again, he's a developmental prospect. Where does Kispert play if you draft him? They're not going to play him with him. Got to come off the bench. I mean, best case for him is he has a J.J. Redick-like career, which has been an outstanding career. If you think he's J.J. Redick, take him, and he'll slowly develop into a solid NBA kind of fifth best starter, stretch the floor scorer. But remember, like JJ, there are times in which he hurts you as much as he helps you because of the defensive end and the inability to keep somebody in front of him.
He's Doug Gottlieb of Fox Sports Radio. We've got him here on the Blitz talking NBA, specifically the Spurs drafting at 12th. And we know the Spurs normally have their eye on a guy, and whether they're drafting 12th or 18th, they're going to draft that guy. It's probably not on the list. We've seen that happen for the last couple of years. But but I want to get into what the Spurs have been doing. And we just talked about a couple of international types, Giddey out of Australia and the Turkish big. The Spurs are, I don't want to use the term notorious because they have been effective in the past of finding some of those diamonds and letting them nurture over a period of time. Can the Spurs and can Greg Popovich wait on a developmental player, the likes of what we were just talking about, that might be available to offer something positive in 2-3 years, given what Pop has done with his previous youth?
It's a great question. I don't know the answer to that.
There it is. You're right.
I mean, I know the answer to it. The answer is they tell you, look, if you get somebody who can eventually start for you at 12, you're doing an unbelievable job. Unbelievable job. I mean, obviously, I think DeJounte Murray and Derek White, those are great draft picks late in the first round. And last year you're at 11. You take a guy in Vassal who can play, and they obviously kind of threw him in the deep end. Playing him 62 games and starting him at the end of the year. So, can they, if they want to get to the playoffs? No. There's not anybody who's going to get you to the playoffs this year, but just because you're drafting developmental prospects, it doesn't mean that you're also still not trying to build to take that next step. I mean, the issue they're going to run into is Memphis is young, and we assume they're going to get better. Golden State will be better next year. They're not going to blow. They think they're getting close. obviously Oklahoma City and Houston are in massive rebuild mode. Oklahoma City we should name the NBA draft the Thunder / Pelicans draft. But the Pels have their guy to build around and got to figure out they got two guys to kind of build around. They got to figure out everything else. So I think you got all those things kind of working against you. Most of the West feels like it's good and should be better. But who can they, how can they add guys? And, the issue for San Antonio has really been the only big free agent signing I can remember them ever having was LaMarcus Aldridge.
Well,
and that was a massive backfire, right? Just didn't work for either of them in terms of it didn't take them back to a higher level. So I think you run into the perception on San Antonio being a smaller market, not being a destination market. And they know that. And so they know this is their way, is that they have to, they have to get into the lottery. The problem with it is that the draft is going to get younger and younger and younger, not older and older. Now you're having kids go to the overtime league, which is basically going to compete with prep schools and high schools.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll go to the G League. They're just trying to collect some money before they get to the NBA, but they're still less developed than college players are. So those are all going to be draft pick guys, and you're going to have to develop them. I think it's really hard.
It's going to be interesting. Doug Gottlieb joining us here on ESPN San Antonio. And again, the Spurs lost the coin flip today. I guess there's a small percentage chance they could get into the top 4 in the lottery, but, we're not going to count on that. So we're looking at picking around 12. And, I'm looking at 12, and I think about, a couple years ago, they got Keldon Johnson towards the end of the draft, and he has turned into being a really nice player for the San Antonio Spurs. Do you see a Keldon Johnson type where you think the Spurs might be picking?
Yeah. I mean, again, it comes down to what exactly you're looking for, right? I mean, I don't know if they go Florida State 2 years in a row. Trey Mann's a really good combo guard. The Jared Butler from Baylor. I mean, now he's not a great shooter, but it's improved. But he's just a guard, and he's tough, and he can really defend. That's kind of a Spurs kind of guy.
Very much.
I don't like Zaire Williams. I don't think he's a Spurs kind of guy. I don't think he's nearly as. I think somebody's going to take him based upon high school talent. Cam Thomas is a LSU kid who he's got some. He doesn't play defense. He doesn't pass. Other than that, he's great.
Musselman turned him around, though, man. He's actually improved a lot. Musselman taught him a few lessons last year. I guess not.
No, Cameron Thomas was at LSU, right?
Oh yeah, at LSU. I'm sorry, I'm thinking.
Yeah, there's guys out there. I like the Butler kids, but look, they're bumping into their ceiling. So what are you trying to get? I think in the second round, you can go in there and get a Chris Duarte. I love him. He'll probably be late first, early second. Duarte's 24 years old, but totally knows how to play. For some reason, everybody waits till the second round to draft those type of kids, and those will be readily available, and there's some really good ones there.
Doug Gottlieb here on the Blitz, looking at the college draft coming into the NBA. A couple things. If you're drafting one, who do you like? I mean, obviously, you probably don't have much allegiance to Oklahoma State, but there's Cunningham certainly, and you look at Suggs coming out there, Mobley down there. You're GM. Who do you take?
Cade Cunningham, I don't really think twice about it.
Perfect.
He's really good. I mean, he's got great positional size. Some will say he's not a point. He's not a shooting guard, but he can run a team and he can shoot. He can guard 4 positions. He makes people better. He's getting better himself. He's not afraid of the big moment. I don't know. I like Jalen Suggs a lot. I like some of the other guys a lot. Jalen Green, especially, is a freak athlete, kind of just an athletic wing. But considering how good he is, how advanced he is in terms of all the little things that most guys still have to learn. A couple years into college and even into the pros, he's kind of got all that. He's just got this presence about him. If you ask the Spurs, I'm sure they would say Cade. And it wouldn't really be close because of all he plays the way they love guys to play. And then he's got an ability to take over a game as a scorer as well.
Doug Gottlieb here on ESPN San Antonio. And Doug, you think about the draft, and obviously Spurs likely at number 12. Then you look at the offseason and some free agents. And we know the Spurs' history in attracting free agents. Maybe they have to do it in a trade. Is there a player or two out there that you think, man, if the Spurs could get that guy, that could accelerate the rebuild process and get them back into the postseason?
Well, I mean, again, so here's the reality of the NBA. And all the teams know it. They just might not say it publicly. Like, look, you can't really overpay guys for the most part. Like high-level guys, everybody can pay them the same amount, right? So it's not like we can go like, okay, superstars on the market, we're just going to, Major League Baseball it and offer him more years and more money than anybody else. So the way the salary cap is structured intends to have greater benefit to the player and to the team if you keep your draft picks, right? You can give a guy more years, more money, and then the second big contract is the Supermax, and you can give him so much money that it's stupid. But the downside to that is when you're a team like San Antonio, who's good enough to be in the playoff conversation, but not good enough to really compete, and bad enough to not be in the playoffs, but not terrible enough to where they can get one of the elite picks that'll ultimately become a superstar, unless you luck into a Giannis, for example. So it's a really hard place to live. Now, I mean, could they do a Marcus Smart sign trade? Get him. He's in the last year of his deal. Bring a Texas kid closer to home.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that one makes sense to me. What are you going to part with? What would entice the Celtics? So the Celtics are going to try and, remake themselves, and they're going to need a big. Can you pawn off Jakob Porto on them or something like that? I don't know.
I appreciate you said pawn.
Yeah, I don't think that's a fair trade, but that's okay. It's all what Danny thinks.
Doug
the
Gottlieb.
point is that yes, the way for them to make it back is to draft and develop, and then you're going to have to take on a questionable bad contract or two, which they've had some success with, and then hope that they're in position where, next year or the year after that, they're pretty good, and then they can take a buyout market guy to kind of add to it. The issue that they run into, and it's dumb. I mean, you guys live in San Antonio. I've been there enough. I mean, obviously with the tax, people from my area, everybody's moving to Texas. So it should be a great place. It should be a destination place. But trying to convince NBA players that you should choose San Antonio is a hard thing. They're just not. They're all choosing the bigger markets. So I think that's their way to success is through the draft, develop guys in the G League, find some guys that other people missed on, even young, and continue to fit what they want to do. And if they can get, some veterans, some guys with some bad contract or expiring contract deals, that's a good way for them to kind of supplement what they're growing.
Doug Gottlieb here on the Blitz. Real quickly, is Pop a draw for free agents?
No.
I didn't think so.
No.
The winning isn't enough.
He's not respected, but one, nobody knows how long he's going to do it. A lot of their staff obviously has been turned over. I mean, I think that's a sign that the league thinks they're truly doing it the right way and the best way to do it. Right? I mean, anybody who thinks Pop doesn't know what he's doing or the league doesn't love him, respect him, look at all these staffs that are just Spurs guys.
Right.
But yeah, I think he's way better to play for than anybody would imagine. But do I think he's a draw? Not really. Most of these guys, they want to be coached, but they also want to play with their guys. And I also think that for every guy that loves him, there'll be some guys that are like, yeah, I don't know. And then there's also the element of no one knows how long he's going to do it.
Right.
And who's going to take over for him when it's done? And how does that look? How does that feel? I don't know.
Becky
so
Hammond.
No.
Playing for Becky. He's Doug Gottlieb. You can check all his stuff at Fox Sports Radio. We got him here today. Before we let you go, Doug, you were on the pulpit. You were talking about Coach Eddie Sutton for years, that he deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. You're and many other players and everybody that knew Coach Finally, it was come to fruition. And I just want to congratulate you on all the hard work you did for getting a great man and a great coach into the Hall of Fame. He earned it. It just took too long, and you were always out there up front calling for it to happen.
Well, I appreciate it. I mean, I'm the rare guy who my dad coached with him at Creighton back in the 60s, and I got a chance to play for him. And just appreciative of all that he taught me about sports I love and I've made a career out of. And I would guess that a good reason that I got some opportunities early on in my career, especially, was just the respect given to his program and how he taught people the right way to kind of play the game. So, yeah, it was great. I mean, really, really special. Obviously, it was an incredible class. I mean, you put Tim Duncan and Kobe Bryant. I mean, that's about as good a class as you're going to get. You combine all those championships together, and you run out of fingers. I think it's not just that he got in. Yeah, I wish he would have gotten in while he's still alive. I mean, he got in when he's still alive, but he would have been. I wish he would have been before he had a stroke, because he was a real dynamic personality, and I don't think that necessarily totally translated or can possibly translate when he was in a wheelchair when he was elected, and then he's gone at the moment of the ceremony. But really interesting guy. You know, was never an assistant coach. Was a high school coach for a couple of years, then a junior college coach, and a college coach. And you know, I mean, there's so many kind of pearls of wisdom. You know, like there's not a game I don't watch where there's a last second shot opportunity. I don't think he would always say the second shot beats you, the first shot doesn't. It's so true. Right? Like offensive and defensive rebounding so big in end of game situations. So he truly knew the game and knew how to teach it.
Second shot beats you, the first one normally won't. He is Doug Gottlieb. Thanks for stopping by, man. We certainly do appreciate the knowledge. Take care of yourself, man.
Anytime, man.
Doug Gottlieb. Check all of his stuff. When you're not listening to us, you're more than welcome to go check out those guys across the street. They're not smart enough to clear him into San Antonio, but he is on Fox Sports Radio nationally. It's always a pleasure to catch up with Doug. Hey, coming up, we'll look at the Dallas Cowboys. The OTA, one more day of practice in the books. We're going to hear from our starting quarterback. He's number 4. Then we're going to hear from number 9. No, not that number 9, the new number 9. We'll tell you what's going on coming up next. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Jason Minix here for Alamo Water Softeners. You know, in San Antonio, we have some of the hardest water in the country. While we can't control the quality of the water supply that comes to your home, you can't control the quality that comes through it. You don't want to wait until you think something is wrong with your water to call Alamo Water Softeners. You know, some chemicals and contaminants are undetectable. So let Alamo Water Softeners come out to your house and give you a free water analysis and a free estimate. In the month of May, you can get a free reverse osmosis drinking system with the purchase of select new Alamo Water Softeners. Now, I've had a water softener from Alamo Water Softeners in my home for about a decade. Wouldn't live without one. They're a great locally owned, family-run business by the Townsends, who are great to work with. They provide the best value for the highest quality water treatment. In fact, they were voted a 2020 neighborhood favorite on the Nextdoor app. So discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference. Go to alamowatersofteners.com. That's alamowatersofteners.com.
Get 100% sports while you give 50% effort at work.
Is that a rhetorical point, or would you like to do the math?
I'd like to do the math.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. All day, every day.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Available at H-E-B.
O'Reilly. This is Derek's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
After the third time jump-starting my car, I finally realized my battery was dying. So I stopped by O'Reilly to have it checked. They tested it right there in the parking lot. It was bad, real bad. But they helped me find the right battery for my car and even installed it for free. Now my car starts like new.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Jess's 30-minute bike boot camp? I guess it's that kind of day.
Are you ready for a total body workout, Peloton fam?
I am.
We'll start the class on the bike and then move to the floor. Let's get it.
With Peloton instructors right in your home.
Are you feeling it yet? Let's keep pushing for 5.
You have motivation that's ready when you are.
Clip off that bike and meet me on the mat for lunges.
I got this.
You showed up today, Peloton. Who's feeling sweaty and strong?
Definitely me.
Tap into your motivation at onepeloton.com.
As a dentist, I know what my patients are saying during times when they really can't speak.
Mm-hmm.
She says her gums are irritated.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you can do? Absolutely. You can try New Crest Advanced Gum Restore.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, New Crest Advanced Gum Restore. It detoxifies below the gum line to restore your gums back to health in just 7 days. Exactly. Healthy gums, healthy mouth.
New Crest Advanced Gum Restore. Healthy, beautiful smiles for life.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents
and Doug. And we're back with Limu, Emu, and Doug for the final question. Category is things you climb. All right, Limu, what do you think? You sure? We're going with Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need. Oh, so close. We were looking for stairs. Huh. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/work. That's ZipRecruiter.com/work.
No, I wouldn't say necessarily limited. I think we're just being cautious and being smart in the fact of not doing things when there's a pass rush or guys, potentially falling at the legs or so or something of that nature. But as far as saying I can't do drills or I can't do something, I'm pretty much full go.
That was Dak Prescott post-practice today. OTAs are going on. Dak, a couple of days in the row, out there performing, and by every measure of those that are watching, no limp, moving good, and wearing a red jersey. No drama.
The only thing he's not doing is 11-on-11 drills as a precaution in case somebody falls and rolls up on his leg or something like that. He said he could go play right now if he wanted, and it's great to see Dak out there. That's expected. I was a little bit more excited to see some of the big guys. Zach Martin was out there. Tyron Smith was out there. La'el Collins was out there. And Dak said those guys, boy, they've spent a lot of time in the training room. They're in the best shape of their careers, is what he says.
It's just a great feeling. I mean, I've been rehabbing with those guys all off season long, just so to know the hard work that they've put in to get to where they are, to feel confident about their health, and just to know that they're in some of the best shape that they've ever been in their career, both of them. I'm excited just to get back out there and, as we said, take the huddle again and play with those guys.
That's big for LC and Tyron Smith.
Yeah, I never really considered the relationship between a quarterback and the offensive line. Certainly the relationship with the quarterback in the center. I mean, they're putting your hands in places that most men don't do. I mean, you're going to spend some time with them, but it is invaluable. The relationship that Dak has built with those offensive linemen certainly had been going on, but when you're going through your own rehab with somebody on the everyday and those guys are going through their thing, there is some value that is so intrinsic there that you really won't be able to quantify it, but I guarantee you the Cowboys are going to be better for it.
It's interesting because you think about the relationships there, and the offensive line is always a tight-knit group at any level, high school all the way up. But I've noticed, I'm sure this is in every organization, but especially with the Cowboys because we're so close to all these guys. But typically, the offensive linemen go out to eat once a week as a group. Typically, the quarterback and the running back are a part of that dinner. They're picking up the tab.
We also,
the quarterback.
Of course, especially now. When we come back, we'll hear from number 9. Yeah, Jalen Smith has chosen a new number. It's going to cost him a little bit of money, but he needs to have a quick turnaround. This is a make-or-break season for Jalen. We'll hear from him next here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
If you're having issues at the house, you know there's one company to call, and that is Moon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. They're experts at worst-case scenarios, big job, small job, residential or commercial. They're full service, and their service trucks are fully stocked. No commission sales reps. They'll provide estimates and second opinions. A great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. And Moon has great maintenance programs that ensures your unit is ready for every season. And if you haven't had your AC tuned up, get it done before it gets into July and August and 1,000 degrees outside. You can catch a minor problem now before it turns into a major problem. Moon Plumbing, Heating, and AC, 210-651-5899, 651-5899, or online at quartermoonplumbing.com.
We're your home for the Texas Rangers in San Antonio.
This is Joey Gallo of the Texas Rangers.
Yet another Joey Gallo home run.
Brought to you by New Brakes Mobile Brake Repair.
Your home for the Texas Rangers, 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Injuries happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries and has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There is no reason to be in pain. If you are hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com, or schedule your appointment by calling 210-804-5490.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
And happy hour is back at Twin Peaks. Get up here Monday through Friday from 2 to 7 and score sweet deals like $1 off all wine, liquor, cheap shots, and freezing cold 29-degree draft brews. Feeling snacky? We also have select apps available for $2, $4, and $6. Cheers!
For 37 years, Mother's Window Tint has been the Texas All-Star for window tint, car stereos, and auto security. Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters, is saving you money right now. Stop more heat for less dollars with tint as dark as you want. We carry over 60 different professional films. Car thieves are stealing catalytic converters more than ever, so get a car alarm from Mother's that will even start your car by remote control. Save $100. Streaming music and your favorite podcast is easier and cheaper than ever with a new Alpine car stereo or Kicker speakers or a JBC amplifier. At Mother's Window Tint super discount stores in Austin and San Antonio, they're all on sale. No time limit layaway. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. MothersWindowTint.com. Follow us on Facebook. Mother's Window Tint. Remember, do it at Mother's and save.
Hello? Hello, Mrs. Kuntz. It's the back left tire of your RV calling. Wanted to give you a heads up that I'm going to blow out on the highway later today.
Wait, what?
Says here I'm going to burst in the middle of rush hour.
Well, can we reschedule?
Sorry, our policy states that once we're scheduled to burst, we have to. We really pride ourselves on our commitment to blowouts.
RV owners can't schedule when things go wrong on the road. That's why there's Progressive, a leader in RV insurance.
You want a text confirmation when I burst?
Think I'll notice.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
I absolutely love my dog, but the constant shedding, not so much. But then I got a Swiffer Sweeper Pet Kit, and it is amazing. These super thick cloths pick up a crazy amount of hair. Just look at all that. And that was from just one swipe. And the best part? Sweeper's so much easier to maneuver than a broom or a vacuum, easily getting around chairs and under the couch. You're right. Now I can focus on you, not your shedding. Swiffer Sweeper Pet Kit, because shed happens.
First and foremost, just a blessing and an honor to be able to carry on the 9 legacy. Tony Romo did an amazing job of just being elite and putting together great success for the Cowboys franchise. As you know, new players coming in, always getting the opportunity, to sometimes carry on legacies. And that's the opportunity that the Jones family granted me with wearing number 9. So it's definitely a blessing. It's been a part of my life. Been wearing number 9 since I was 9 years old, through Pee Wee, middle school, high school, college, All-American games, you name it. And number 9 is a part of me. So it's really just a blessing to be able to continue the legacy.
That was Jalen Smith. Conclusion of the OTA practice today. This was the first day that media was allowed to go and check it out. Mickey Spagnola was there. We had him on earlier. Go check out ESPNSA.com, the audio vault, if you missed any of Mickey. Jalen rehabbing a wrist injury from the last season. He is out there practicing, but number 9, that's just one of the several steps he's going to have to take, Jason, if he's going to secure himself as part of the Legacy 9 past this season. He's going to have to earn a starting job because there's a lot of guys lined up to play linebacker now with the Cowboys.
And based on his performance last year, probably more pressure on him to live up to the hype. In fact, Mickey Spagnola talked about it with us earlier today.
I think he needs to have a huge rebound year, and he needs to earn it because it won't be given to him. There'll be some competition in that linebacker room. And for what I saw today, it was encouraging. Not just the fact that he was moving around out there, but he seemed to be more engaged. You know, one of the things I think last year, if you're on this defense and you lose Leighton Vander Esch for the number of games they did, he needs to step up and be the leader, right? He needs to be the guy that's on point. And I just think there were games he wasn't prepared for. And he just didn't seem to engage with his teammates.
You know, and I hear that from Mickey, and it surprises me because I remember getting on Jaylon Smith a lot for celebrating all kinds of stuff. But as Mickey was saying that, and I think back on it, he celebrated all kinds of stuff by himself.
Right.
And that's kind of been a knock on Jaylon Smith with this clear-eye view. It's all about him. I like hearing that he's engaged, and maybe some of that, quite frankly, has to do with the new defensive coordinator that the Cowboys have brought in, Dan Quinn, because Jalen did talk about his new boss.
A guy that we all are excited to play for, and we're locked in. Everyone here is bought in. And that's the biggest thing. That's the beautiful thing about Dan Quinn and his energy. It's infectious, and just thankful to have him. So we're sponges, soaking everything in, learning from him.
I hope they're sponges, but to hear energy and infectious.
Well, that's what Jalen Smith is, right? I mean, he has to be that demonstrative, defensive, do everything kind of leader. That's the guy they drafted. That's the guy we got for a year or so with Leighton Vander Esch. We didn't get it last year. He's going to have to, the term was what? Engaged? Going to have to be more than engaged, not only to stay a Cowboy, but to hold on to a starting spot, because it's obvious to him, I'm sure, they drafted to replace him.
Micah Parsons, Jabril Cox. There's a lot of competition there at the linebacker position.
Hey, we got to go, but guess what? Keldon Johnson will be in studio tomorrow. You do not want to miss it. Hang with us. This has been The Blitz.
This is Rob Thompson for Service First AC and Plumbing. It's about to get hot here in San Antonio. What are you going to do in your office or your home when you're